Hello, friends, in whatever, I don't know, there's multiple platforms now that's happening on.
So
What's up?
Stuff. Hi.
What's going on? How y'all doing in the chat? Gustavo, Xavier, how y'all doing? Xavier wants to know, want to try and build a tokusatsu crossover fighter? Absolutely, I do.
Oh, we have ideas.
Kind of my thing. I like doing that.
It's kind of an obsession for us, but you'll see.
A little bit. What's going on? Yeah. So welcome to Tokudon Live. And
what time? 7:20, 7:13. What are we?
I don't, Eastern Standard.
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Daylight crossover into the Heaven Realm. I don't fucking know.
EST.
EST. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So today we are Robin's live on TikTok. So this should be interesting.
Doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You know me. Always trying stuff and seeing how it blows up and then reporting on it. So yeah. So far so good.
So far, right? Sure. Yes. I'm gonna be positive. Yes, we're doing it. But today we thought we have something that happened this past week. We had the premiere of Ultraman Blazer. Blade laser.
Like Quasar, right?
Yes,
Blazer?
it's like a Quasar, but Blazer. And yeah, it was something.
It happened.
It happened. We'll get to that. But we figured, why not? Since all three of the big three tokusatsu are now firing off, we'll just kind of check in with all three of them today. So we're talking Kamen Rider, Sentai, and Ultraman. So that'd be Blazer, Geats, and King Oger.
Yeah, so I mean, essentially, it's been a while since we last checked in from all of them, and obviously we got the first one, but man, the 4 or 5 episodes we missed have already been like chunks of story, like a lot, especially for King Oger, and I wanted to kind of start there if you don't mind. And we'll
sounds great to me.
Yeah, because it was the last thing I kind of wrapped up, and like I have questions because I'm not sure if I missed anything. So let's kind of catch up. Jeremy had just made his debut the last time we talked. And Jeremy is quickly my favorite character. Even now that he's been humbled, so to speak, obviously you knew he was going for a fall and it was going to be something that was going to happen. Like, honestly, I thought it was going to be bigger than that. Like, not so much of a, oh, whoopsie, I kind of messed up. You know what I mean? I thought he was going to have to get his ass kicked more than that. But
maybe he got his emotional ass kicked. Is that what we're going to go with?
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's like it feels like they've kind of shelved that and they might bring it back when he maybe, I don't know, gets rambunctious later on, but all I'm saying is like the process of like getting Jeremy introduced, getting the God Tarantula and all the shit that it can do, and then having Himeno whoop his ass.
Put him in his place, and it was glorious.
I wanted to ask you, what are your feelings on that, friend? Because I know you
I liked that a lot. That was real nice. I'm a huge Himeno shill, so anytime she lowers the voice and takes command, I am here for it. So, yeah.
Whooped his ass. And it was kind of surprising because it was like, he just did all that the previous episode, schooling all of them. And then, because he pissed off the princess. Yeah, it was donezo. But yeah, like, but that's just like the kind of bombastic and firing approach that they've taken with this story. It's like constantly like we're giving you a setup, we're giving you half a payoff because they're always planting more seeds, and it's like, son of a bitch, we're barely through 20 episodes, and I'm already like, I don't even see an end game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still like, I don't know where this is gonna go.
Well, so let's just preface the entire episode with, did you watch this week's episode? 19 and 48? Is that what we're on? No, not 38. No, 40 something. 43, something like that. Anyway, so we will be talking about this week's episode as the time of, recording this, and, you guys watching live. We're going to be talking about this week's episode, and So just spoilers, just heads up, spoilers.
Spoilers, guys. This is what we do.
Yeah.
I do spoilers.
So the big thing that kind of came out of it is we have a fucking Sentai team now.
A legit one.
A fucking legit one. And the coolest part about it is the reason they are called Osama Sentai King Oger is because of the fucking treaty that they signed. And I thought that was the coolest shit ever.
And it was being introduced by Rita.
Yes.
And just the delivery, you felt the power behind it.
The rescue force to save the country will unite to whatever. I don't give a fuck. Osama Sentai, King Oger.
Like, okay, so I got someone saying that the Kamakiri wasn't as strong, and I kind of see what you're saying there. Like, Kamakiri coming off stronger than Jeremy in that moment really did downplay his power. Don't you feel?
Yes, but I also think Himeno is way stronger than she actually lets on to be a lot of the time. She is like a really good swordswoman, and I don't think that should be underestimated.
What I was getting the sense of, like, her resolve shook him a bit. You know what I mean? Like, he couldn't bring himself to overcome her because of her. I don't know. They're just that,
honestly, I think Jeremy, because he is the storyteller, right? He put them into these archetypes that we all assumed they were going to be. And Himeno obviously is very much the yellow, the princess. Usually, I think it's pink in Sentai. But she's very much the princess. And then I think he was kind of shook that she was like, "Yeah, but I'll also murder your ass if I have to." So
like twice.
Like, yeah, like I will hold you down and straight up murder you. So. Step
I get
the fuck up.
I get the message. It's just like, I feel like it was very like storytelling. Yeah. Let's just have her whoop his ass because we got to get to XYZ yet. Mm-hmm. But because of that, because that's how they've been doing the whole thing. Like, okay, your boy, man.
Which one?
Tombo is like
Tombo's fucking great.
Yanma has become like this weird anomaly of, I don't know blue Sentais as well as I think, but I don't know of any blue Sentais that have been that main character. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like holy
Kagami
shit.
To the Tendo kind of thing.
Yeah, like he's so. I don't know.
Like, he steals the show when he's on screen for me. And like I was biased to him from the get-go. As soon as we saw the Kuwabara look, I was all for it, right? Like, blue is one of my favorite colors. I think it's fucking radical. He's dope. He's got a cool personality. He's got this whole tech thing going on. I loved everything about him. And then the second he showed up and called him Octomush and started calling everyone slimy tanukis and like kicking the shit out of him. And then he also went, yeah, but they're my people to dick around, so back the fuck up. I was like, okay, we're in. We're here. We're golden. We're done.
Thing. Yeah,
sign it off.
The benevolence behind everything he does is like, it's not apparent, but it's right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like we joked about when we checked in with the show a couple times before. He's like he's the hooligan with a heart of gold, right? And it's really cool that we have this little arc. So if you guys don't know, it's a very common thing in Sentai that once the Six Rangers introduced, they go through their round robin of individual episodes with each character on the team. It's kind of how they do like a team building thing and how they eventually lead to, which happened here. We go through each of their individual episodes. He's the one with Himeno where we find out all the stuff where she's accusing him of killing her parents and all this kind of stuff. We have this one with Tombo, Gira, everything. They all have their individual episodes, and a lot of stuff is revealed about people's backstories because he was around for that stuff. So it's really cool to see. And Tonbo gets his own episode at the end of this where they reawaken this crazy Bugnarok general, and he's the most powerful thing to ever see, and he can take out continents with a swipe of his pickaxe, apparently.
Help me get this concept here. Raklis. I feel like I want to understand, like, I understood his message. I haven't seen the secret thing, but I know like what happens in it. So I'm assuming that he's gone so, like hardcore into this ideal that I have to save the world. I have to be the one. Like, in order to do that, I have to forego everything and just be this tyrant. You know what I mean? And even though it's like he's trying to spin the tyrant into a creation of the people. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
He's taking it too far, and he's gone too far to walk it back.
Yeah.
Especially that died. What is this guy? Like, holy, he one-shotted us, bro.
Yeah.
He one-shotted us.
Yeah.
Like,
he straight up. So Jeremy describes him as this crazy general guy that was defeated by the original King Osier, and Rackless gives them the technology to resurrect him. That's all we know. That was part of the deal. And
he
so
gave him the Vegeta chamber, the
like Saiyan capsule kind of thing.
Exactly.
The tub, literally, it's kind of what it looked like too. And yeah, they resurrect this dude, which makes me think maybe we'll see some other ones get resurrected. It'd be kind of cool if we get like Death Narok the First. That'd be kind of dope.
Well, I'm assuming from here forward they're all going to be those uber caliber guys. Like, you're not going to.
I think they would have to be, just for the sake of power scaling and keeping it interesting, where it's not just like I'm going to activate the King Osier and win.
So tell me. I think we were just getting this we were going into headcanon about the relationship between, oh my god. Your boy, the other boy, and his sister.
Hachi, yeah. So
Hachi.
That was part of it too. But I just wanted to finish my thought on Tombo.
Sorry. My bad.
So Tombo has this amazing thing where he, Niscopa is attacked. Nikoscopa, whatever the hell it's called. They all have really weird names. Is being attacked by the Bug Narok and this dude who is one-shotting things, and we kind of see like the bonds that they've formed up to this point cashing in, right? Like Jimeno shows up and they've kind of had their rivalry thing going on because he's got a crush on her, which I get it. I get it. And so like he's kind of had a crush on her, but like she shows up and says, hey, I'm going to help you evacuate the people. I'm going to give you medical help, that yada, yada, yada. Like it's, none of these guys, even though they are ruling their own country, are ever like, hey, fuck that country. You know what I mean? Like, and It's really cool to see this kind of crescendo in this moment because Tombo literally is fighting for his life to make sure his people get out of this country because he knows it is going to be a wasteland with this dude. And it's so cool.
It was a revelation thing. Like, dude, like you didn't see him having those layers of thought before that. You know what I mean? Like him making the plan with Jimeno, him doing all that shit. It was just like, why is he being a dick? You know what I mean? Like, but he knew, like, I don't know. He knew all he had to do was hold out, and even then, he was willing to die for it. Mm-hmm. Like, this dude is like.
I love Tombo. Like, I genuinely, like, every time he's on screen, it reaffirms that why I fucking love this dude.
It's just one of those moments where I was watching, I'm like, I get it, and I feel like each of these characters have these things that I'm latching onto. It's not just he's just the one example where you have that hero fucking fuck yeah moment. You know what I mean? Like
like the big hero moment where he's like, damn right I am. That kind of thing. Like that he straight up has that moment, and then Gira intervenes, which is really cool too.
It was everything leading up to that, dude. Like Gira being dragged out by the second, and the second is like, all we got to do is get out, and he'll join us. He'll run away when he knows we're safe, and then Gira's like, that's not who you're talking about.
Yeah, bro. Like this is Yanma fucking Gust. We know that. Like y'all know this, right? Like y'all have met the same dude I have, right? Like he's not going nowhere.
And I love that it was Gira that was like, no, this is not how shit's gonna go down.
Yeah. And I especially love because like up until this point we had our duel with Rackless and Gira where Rackless supposedly kills Gira and Gira's just kind of in hiding, so they have this throughout Jeremy showing up and everything. That's how he even shows up. We talked about that, him showing up in the coffin and everything. They're stealing the coffin, I should say. Gira has been kind of fighting this, like he wants to be a bigger role, and it's kind of cool to see like him take a back seat while all these other characters shine, which is something I really love about this season, honestly. I feel like it's very much usually the red show, in Sentai. It's really cool to see him kind of take a step back, let the other characters do their thing, and then he comes in and goes, yeah, I'm also the red, by the way. So that's kind of what we're doing now. I think we're going to get back into a little bit of a Gira arc. Especially with the next episode. But yeah, like Gira pretty much kind of like in the first little bit where he was first meeting everyone, he's kind of like taking that backseat and observing how they're reacting to these situations and wanting to be a part of it. But, they're a little more cohesive. They're a little more helpful. At least Jimeno and Tombo are pretty much like his team at this point. like they're the three, you know, red, blue, and yellow. That's very typical Sentai. Like if they're a 3-man team, that's the colors. So, you know, and then just because of their standings in society and beliefs and things like that, we still have Rita and Hachi. I can never Dogobowski, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that it's Debowski. But
yeah.
Hachi thing. Yeah.
And it's like, you know, they're kind of off doing their own thing because they have their own motives that aren't necessarily evil or against Himeno and Tombo and Gira. They just don't line up right now. And it's really cool because we were always also talking about, you know, the duel of fates in my head that is Tanbo and Hachi, which Tanbo I'm gonna say is my favorite character, period. That it is kind of losing the steam in the fight a little bit. Like he's just, every time I see him, I have a reaction that I don't have with Dagobowski. Hachi. I'm just gonna call him Hachi at this point. Like Hachi shows up. I think he's really fucking cool. I think he's hilarious. I think he's, you know, we see some more of that 5D fucking chess that this dude plays, and then he also introduces his fucking tag team partner in the mix too. So he's playing 2-man 5D chess. You didn't even know there was a second player.
I didn't expect that, but I'm glad that it was another layer beyond even what I thought. I gave Hachi like this whole field that he's just gonna sweep this idea where I really thought he was gonna supplant everybody and like just fucking take over, and then it was gonna be like a side thing where they were like, you fucking prick. But you know, now I see that he was like making the best moves to get the right player in place, dude. Like, dude, like. Unreal.
And he literally plays the longest con ever, and this is a solid like 10 episode con. It's great, and it's so fucking cool. It's a whole thing. But my point is, Hachi and Tombo were my favorite out the gate. Like Hachi still does his whole like kabuki theater thing when he's fighting. I think it's fucking cool. But Tombo, I literally go, holy shit, I want to hang out with this dude. Shit, I want to hang out with this dude. And, you know, Hachi is just an interesting character to me at this point. Like, you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. Where Tanbo is like, I fucking love this character. Hachi is like, I just want to be around this character and see what he's going to do, but I'm also going to hang out with Tombo if that's cool.
I think for what you're saying is like you're invested into what Tombo is bringing to the story.
Yes.
But you're very intrigued, as am I, as to the machinations and everything that's going on behind Hachi. Now that we know he's got his pawns in place, I think his plan has kind of come to fruition, I'm afraid. Like, I think, like, now he's going to be more reactionary versus, you know, being 1 or 2 steps ahead. I'm assuming because Suzume is still, I don't know, in the mix in a certain degree where I feel like whatever she's going to contribute now isn't going to be as monumentous as getting that fucking lance. You know what I mean? That was a banger. Like, that was a masterstroke.
That upgrade form, holy hell. Yes. Okay. And I before we move on from Tombo, I have to mention it because Chad literally won't stop. The fart cushion.
Yeah, okay. So I think at that point we got the idea that Tombo had, I don't know, is more focused on the bigger picture than his vengeance. He still doesn't like anything about Reckless, and he probably never will.
Not even slightly. But he also is, I think this is also why I love Tombo a little bit more, because he's super goddamn petty when it comes to this stuff, and I feel like that's how I would react. Like,
and I felt like that's what it was. It's like a petty, I don't know, a petty.
He just wants to embarrass him. He doesn't even care about hurting him at this point. He just wants to embarrass his ass.
Once you supplant your bully, you know what I mean? Once you take out everything and you're just like, you know, you're not a threat anymore.
Yeah.
That's it. Like you're good. There's for me, that's what I felt he was doing. He was coming to terms with, I'm not afraid of this guy anymore. Now it's just time for me to fight. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, the fart thing was kind of a weird joke to do again.
But it was funny to see. I mean, I know why they did it, because that started the whole thing when Jeremy and Tombo first had their episode, and, you know, Jeremy goes, "Oh, you're actually a pretty cool dude. Here's my gun, my mother's gun," who is very important to his character. And like, that's the whole thing. She was a Bugnarok. Her father, or his father, was, you know, human. And so like, letting Tombo use the gun, he thought it was very disrespectful that he played this prank, essentially. And now that he kind of went through this, like, emo stage where he's literally hanging in a fucking spiderweb hammock saying, "Oh God, everything I've planned is falling apart. Oh God."
I'm trying to understand that one too, because he just came off of being all like over it, and then he went back to it, and then he's off of it. I don't know what they're trying to do with him now, because like the guilt is one thing for him making the situation worse, but did he really? I mean, everybody else was already making.
Yeah, I don't think he necessarily made it worse. It's just not going according to his plan, so he's kind of expressing his Rita scream in a different way.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I observed it. But yeah, he does it again, and they both kind of gang up on Rackley's, which is kind of funny because Tommo goes, "Yo, stop being a bitch. Let's go get Rackley's."
Legit, and he was just over it at that moment.
Yeah, like, Jeremy's like, "All right, yeah, no, that sounds cool, man."
It was dope. All right, so that being said, all of the fight sequences, man.
That's it, man. Holy shit!
Every fight sequence has been A+ so far. Like I really like the fight scene, especially in the, I don't know, maybe the CG thing is a little so, but I'm afraid the mech fights are becoming beam fests, and it's
as they usually do.
Yeah, so I'm like,
because the things get so big they can't move, so they're like, we're just gonna fire everything. So
which is why like, okay, so dude's got. They're holding the King Oger together with the tendrils and the webbing of God Tarantula because it's not complete.
Yes. So essentially, when Jeremy does this, like, hey, I'm going to borrow the Shoe Gods, he holds King Oger, Extreme King Oger, together with the spider webs because his, God Tarantula can control the other Shoe Gods. So basically, without Gira, they're able to Extreme King Oger, which is the next final form, where the 6 of them, I almost said 7, 6 of them combine. There's 7 Rangers so far, but the 6 of them combine, and that's like their full mech, right? And yeah, he's literally holding this thing together with spider webs, and they do this really cool effect where like it's still a practical suit, even though there's no Tarantula Knight actual suit. It's all CG, but like the thing on his back is practical still. And you see these webs kind of like curl around, and it's a really cool effect that they do. You see the light like glisten off them every once in a while. It's really sick. So he's literally and at one point it starts to like fall apart, and he has to like pull it back together real quick. And I was like, yo, this is awesome.
But it's the idea that they can still make it work, dude. Like, it's still working, even for the sake of the story. Like, even they're not like, oh, we're just compensating for the lack of power. No, we're literally holding this fucking thing together to get what we need to get done.
On actual hopes and prayers right now.
I love it. I love it.
It was dope. And then, we're introduced to this new upgrade thing, which is the Shugadam crown. And apparently, I am so confused on how any of this tech works at this point, because we have the the King O caliber, we have the Zero caliber, whatever the hell Rackless is called, but then we also have this crown that like supposedly Tonbo made the King O calibers. I don't know. At this point, I'm very confused at the timeline and where this tech all came from. But yeah, we get this crown upgrade thing that is the Shugadam crown, and they're able to put it on, and Rackless and Gira specifically are the only ones who can use it, as we know so far, because they are of royal blood of Shugadam. And
which that is like straight up like the rest of the plot line. Like that's just the rest of the plot from here on out.
Yeah, and we get one of the coolest Sentai forms I have ever seen in my goddamn life. This thing is so sick. I love this thing. I think specifically Gira's. Rackless is cool. I like the silver. I like more so what the like bug accents that Rackless gets. He gets the like extra horns on him and stuff. But the full gold Gira one is so clean. So clean.
It just reminds you of Blade. That's okay.
Yes, but that's fine.
I understand. That's okay, because it really is nice. It really does that. But I think the accents and the little splash of silver really take Rackless in a different direction. But I understand. I just don't like the peripheral itself, the crown itself, other than putting it on the lance, which serves a purpose, but they don't do that to transform. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, is it just to control the King Oger? Is it just because that was not in the thing either? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I don't think we've seen enough of the lance right now to know really like the key part of it. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't know. Oh, I put that in spoiler talk. We can put that here now.
But yeah, I know I pulled it up on the screen so you guys can see it. So this is Gira here, the full gold with the double capes. I think it's fucking sick. It's the big shoulders too. And then we have Rackless over here, who's got these extra. You know, this is what I'm talking about here. He's got these extra little arms and things. I think it's fucking cool. I do like the pure gold a lot better though. You know, as you guys have known at this point from my many rants about Revice and repainting their fucking undersuits.
Do you know now looking at Rackless's suit, I'm getting heavy Medan Senkyu vibes, like heavy of that shit.
Yeah,
it's straight up Metal Hero, like all of that. I like it. I'm just saying now, cool. Now seeing it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this is besides it just reminding me of King form, like literally Blade King. I think this is one of the sickest Sentai forms I've ever seen. And honestly, 99% of it is this helmet. I think this helmet is so cool looking.
That's what I'm saying. Like the peripheral itself doesn't go with what happens, and that's kind of the only confusing part about it. But I really dig this a lot. Like I want more.
What's up, Aaron? Yeah, the mustache. Aaron's calling it the mustache for Rackless. Yeah, the mustache is pretty sick.
It's fine. I like it. But it's what I'm saying is, I think another element that is, I think we mentioned before, is that everybody might get a piece of this thing. Mm-hmm. And like that has to imply that there's going to be a level beyond. I hope. Yeah. My
thing is, why is there other colors on this crown if that's not going to happen?
Right. And that's more than likely the case. I just hope that, I don't know, like I feel like this is the Super Saiyan 1 and we might get the 2.
Yeah.
I hope. Like it's just I don't know.
Yeah, like we talked about it kind of when it started. I hate when Sentai turns into the Red Show and then they get like 9 power-ups and
of course.
Yeah, like we get. I hate that shit. I want a team power up. This whole thing is supposed to be a team thing. Give me a team fucking power up, even if it's one that they like hot swap. That's fine with me. You know, for as much as I don't like Tokudon, it was cool that they could like hot swap the gold train power up thing.
I think that gimmick is nice. Yeah, the gimmick and the idea is nice.
Yeah, but then like even if only one of them can use it as a time, that's fine. Just let them fucking all use it or something. You know what I mean?
Well, because for example, and my issue is where they're establishing. The reason why I say I hope there's a level beyond is because they establish really quickly that this can go basically toe to toe with the generals.
Yes, and this thing like bitches the big badass general that they woke up.
So like, they're like, okay, this is where he was at because he one-shotted Jeremy and Tombo in the same shot. So like, that's the level of enemy we're facing where they can be de-hensioned in one blow. Then versus was it Gira or Rackless who did the first chill out? I think it was Rackless.
Yeah, because there was the huge flash and it knocked out all the cameras and everything.
Yeah, so it was basically Rackless going,
because he had the lance. I don't think Gira has the lance yet. No, Hachi has it. I'm sorry, Hachi still has the lance.
Oh yeah. Speaking of, so we get this whole thing where Rackless reveals this gold thing and he dons it first, and
literally out of nowhere. It was kind of weird that he just kind of like pulled it out of fucking nowhere.
So they do these flashbacks, right? They're doing these flashbacks of like random memories finally coming back to Gira.
Yeah.
And it's like Rackless just happened to talk about the one crown that is like obviously the thing that he needs. You know what I mean? It's just like, I get it if they're doing lore seeds, but Rackless, this whole thing where he, I don't know, bent the knee in order to subvert everybody and then to have that moment where Gira came back.
Yeah.
I see where he was like, I don't know. I feel like he's giving up. You know what I mean? Like when he came back, remember when they beat his ass, right? And he comes back and he's by himself in the capital, and the Bugnaroks have already taken over everything. Yeah. Like all of these plans that he had hashed out, all based on this concept that he was going to be the one to save it, fell apart. And now he's like, fuck, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's where they're going with his character. I think. I don't know.
I feel like Rackley's is going to turn into Gentoku, and that hurts me a little bit.
Not that goofy.
I think he might turn into like a huge fucking joke character, like an actual jester for the court. I'm a little worried because he, especially in this week's episode, he went from being this like tyrannical dictator to like
the fart cushion
being. Yeah, like the fart cushion, and then like the way he reacted was very like, what's the way I'm trying to describe this?
Defeated. That's what I'm saying.
But it's not like a normal person's defeated. It's comical in the sense of like Toku trying to do comedy defeated. Like, I don't know how else to describe it other than that. Like, it felt very fake and forced and like outside the actor.
Well, yeah, it didn't feel like a deserved ending. It didn't feel like the right ending. So that's why I feel
it didn't feel like the character, to be honest. Like, it didn't feel like Rackley's. I feel like Rackley's would have had more of the like the actual defeated. You know what I mean? Like, I know they throw like the goofiness around when they do the like the fake reenactments and stuff. That's one thing. But like, this is actually happening, and I feel like he's turning into fucking Gentoku. And I'm like, that's not Rackley's. This is not the tyrannical dictator that we've known through the entire thing. And I get part of it is also like, we overthrew the tyrannical dictator. I get that. But like, that doesn't change his character from what he is. You know what I mean? Like at a base level.
But it sucks because if they do that, that's what, the 7th Ranger that they could waste. That's like, you know what I mean? Like, even though it's exactly the same as the Red, you know, I don't know. Damn, I really hope they don't do that.
Yeah. Also, chat, Xavier, I genuinely don't know who Xander is. I'm sorry. So I don't get the joke, to be honest with you.
Xander?
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
I don't know who Xander from Power Ranger Samurai is. I never watched Samurai. So we don't watch Power Rangers around here, unfortunately.
Not yet. So. Not yet. I did see Dino Fury first season. I got through the second, but Cosmic Fury starting soon? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care about Cosmic Fury anymore. So I never did, to be honest with you.
We gave up. I still have hope. Hope.
Yeah. So I just like it kind of bugged me because I wanted the actual like character fall, not this goofy, ridiculous whatever we got in this episode. Which like there's still time. There's still like there's the Gira ends the episode by challenging him to trial by combat. So it's still possible.
So yeah, I mean they're doubling back on a plot thread that I think is going to play out to where Gira and Rackley's are going to have their heart to heart, where Rackley's is finally either going to come around or like die and then come back later on. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing that they can do with his character. I
think Gira's going to talk no jutsu him. I think that's literally what's going to happen.
Yeah, 100%. But it's what happens from that talk no jutsu. You know, like, does he go like, oh yeah, let me just?
I think he'll be like, at that point, he'll be an unofficial member of the team. Like, he'll show up every once in a while, but he won't like be there all the time. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to show up with like all 6 of them. He'll show up every once in a while, do some stuff, and then like fuck off somewhere.
I'm curious.
Or he'll make his own country and do some shit over there or something.
So given that they're going this route with him, and he's already kind of like, I don't know, he's already kind of like out of the equation.
Yeah.
Right? What does that do for the plot line where they were looking for the person who poisoned Himeno's mom, and they were looking for, and then we come to find out that that same poison is what was used for Gakko or Gokan too. That whole thing that happened there,
and that she's not actually dead.
Okay, so like this is what I'm saying. Like, they give you a resolution and then they give you half a resolution. So like, it was cool as shit that Rita has been trying this guy every year for 15 years just to get him to say something different. You know what I mean? Like, the revelation of Rita's episode, and like you said before, they each have their spin-off, not their spin-off, their own individual episodes.
Yeah.
And I felt strongly about each of them. Tombo's, Jimenos, I was equally like, oh shit, oh shit, oh that explains that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why they're like, it wasn't for like the sake of, I don't know, it didn't feel over tropey. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, Mofun is the number one thing where I'm always like reset every time I take Rita too seriously.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and I feel like that's the whole point, because Rita could very much be just like a pure edgelord and be like, why are you like this? And
it's because every edgelord has that soft teddy bear they keep right here.
Quite literally.
It's true, and that's okay. But that's why
I think it's funny though. I think it's actually hilarious that, like, you know, she does the Mofun thing, but the screaming is very much, she does not care who's around when she does. She's literally giving this speech about this new alliance, and then goes, like, and Tombo's even like, oh my god, my ear, what the hell?
It was perfect. Everything about this whole thing with her. And so, like, what I understand, and I think, and I'm not, let me know if I'm missing anything. So she was trying this guy who fell in love with the previous judge.
Yeah.
And she convinced him to fake her death in order for Rita to take over at 8 years old.
I believe it was 5. Thank you. 5. Yes, both of them, because that's what Jimeno and her bonded over. Both being child royalty, and having to take over a country and figure out how to basically be adults at like 5 years old.
So that's blowing my mind, dude. So like,
I think my running theory is, and I told you this when the episode happened, but I believe that Rita and her second, the other one who's like heir to the judge throne, whatever you want to call it, her assistant person, I believe they're sisters, because the flashback lady had black and white hair, platinum hair, whatever color that is.
Yeah.
I believe they are sisters, and that's why she's like next in line for the thing.
Rita
would just happen to be older or something like that.
Could that be Karas's like legit daughter, and she just wasn't up to snuff for the role of judge?
It's possible. I mean, anything's possible. Like, it could be Rita was like adopted, or it's just, you know, was a childhood friend that hung around the palace because whatever. But I think it's more likely that they just are sisters, and Rita was the more showing potential, I guess. Or, you know, if they're a couple years apart, Rita was 5, 8, whatever, and the other one was still in diapers probably. So
what was the major thing about that episode, dude? Like, they really went into the aspect of why she is the best fit for the role.
Yes.
And it is because of her indecisiveness. Her inability to make a fast decision is what makes her the best judge.
Yep.
And it's like,
because she's so thorough and particular and will not decide on anything until she has all of the information.
It's beautiful. I'm like, oh, okay, she's not broken.
Yep.
She's meticulous.
Yep. She's hyper focused. Hyper focused. And I think also that's juxtaposed because if they are sisters, her assistant is very bubbly and kind of outgoing and much more
flippant. Yes.
Innocent. Yes. Flippant. Yeah. Yes, that's a good word. Yeah. So I think that's why, and I think they are actually sisters. You know, I'm sure we'll, you know, find out more about that as we go, because we found out that lady is still alive. So something's going to happen. They're going to find her, and then that'll be Rita's episode or 2, you know.
I really hope that it doesn't like blow up, but I think the seeds that they're planting, especially for shit that can happen down the road, like, so these Gokhan people, right? So, excuse me, not just Gokhan, but all of the previous leaders are still capable of piloting the Shugods, right? Like, it's still something they could do. So
I guess, but like the Shugods seem to be connected to specific people.
One at a time.
Yeah, because like Kuwagata didn't even wake up when Rackley's had the sword. It wasn't until Gira showed up that it actually woke up. Even though the O caliber was calibrated to like Rackley's blood or whatever it is, you know, the biometric for Rackley's. That's why Gira could use it. You know, I think it's a lot deeper than that. I think they're actually tied specifically to either the O caliber or that person. because like they don't seem to just work for anyone. But I guess if someone took the throne, like if someone beat Tombo in a hacking competition, I'm curious if my man can out hack like 60 people at one time with one hand. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but my point is, if he's, if they recalibrate it, I'm sure, the Dragonfly would be that person's,
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, if it comes to a thing of where they each get a round robin of power-ups and they each get, then that means that one level beyond could still do that same shit.
Yeah, potentially. I'm curious to see though, because we're at how many shoe gods now?
14, I think.
Is that where we're at? So that leaves like 6, because there's one that's 20 of them fucking together. So,
oh gosh. Dude.
So I guess there's the 2 that were also with Tarantula. So it was the cicada and the whatever. There's the snail that we saw at one point. I don't know if that's a shoe god or not. But, there's all of that. And then there's also, we still have to see the fortress at some point, the fucking castle itself. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, we're only on episode 20.
Uh-huh.
So we got a while.
We have a few episodes till the Ultrazord, kids.
Son, Pyramidas is on its way.
Pyramidas descends from the heavens. That's how this show is gonna end. I fucking love Pyramidas.
I just can't. I like that I don't know where the story's gonna go. Yeah. I have the inklings of the plot threads, but honestly, this is wild.
We were talking about it in the Discord, but like, I think why this one hits so well for us is because this is Kamen Rider with fucking Sentai teams. So
more or less exactly that. And it sucks because we are such Rider fans, but it's like, if you give me enough of Rider, this is what you're getting out of me.
Yeah, like you just put enough Rider into anything and I'll fucking watch it. So what's up, Dorky? So the small ones are considered demigods, apparently.
Ah, that's right.
So that makes sense. So I don't think they'll be counted as the, in that 20, which scares me even more.
But that means they could just be bits, you know what I mean? Like it's just like
they're just hovering around whatever god creature amalgamation is hovering down from the heavens.
Fantastic. I love it so much.
I also want it to be like, I want it to be like the Legend Heroes final mech, where it just towers over fucking everything. I want it to be that big, dumb, huge.
It's gonna be that. Did you see? Like, I watched the suit dude, and he just can't move in that thing, dude. Like,
well, that's why they had him walk forward, and they have CG legs start attacking from the tarantula, which is a very cool ability, by the way. I think that's fucking cool.
It was just like,
it was just walking like,
perfect. Yeah. But it's just like,
put an aura on anything, and I'm here for it. So
just make it 2. Just make it 2 things.
Just make it 2. Like, I thought in this episode in particular, when a Tarantula Knight hopped off and like henshined real quick and then turned back, I thought we were going to get like a cool double thing going on. But
for one, it would make a 2 for attack. You know what I mean? Like, you're coming at him. I don't know. But that's just me. We'll see. I mean, other than that, dude, like this Hachi and Suzume, like I said earlier, I think it's already played out. But in the preview for the next episode, I think they're showing a flashback of their wedding or something like that. Because unless this is happening...
Well, she still calls herself fiance.
Oh, wait, yeah, they're not married. Then that still has to happen?
Yeah.
Like,
maybe it's Suzume dreaming of it, even though she doesn't seem to really be into it. Clearly, it was a for tofu kind of thing, because they are both very much about, like, just whatever's best for tofu.
What if he becomes like this prisoner of war, and that's how he's able to like?
Maybe, I don't know. I just know Suzume is playing like 7D chess at this point, and I was like, I can't handle the 2 of you. This is insane.
So, how did you like that plan or that little cobbled together? I don't know, game of Clue that they did.
That was fucking wild. Let me tell you. So when this lady comes in and tries to like, I'm the fiance, I'm going to hold the throne and like embarrass her brother, I was like, oh shit, this is a weird power thing. And then he starts like acting around like a fool. He starts, being a whatever the hell he's doing. He's being a Kuwagata rhinoceros beetle thing.
Yeah, beetle of some sort.
Yeah, he starts doing the thing, and then she starts like kicking. I was like, oh, she's kicking like the spot. Oh, see, the second he got close and she like was specifically touching one little panel. I was like, oh, there it is. I see what you're doing here.
It was beautiful. I'm like, oh, they're doing like a fucking Ocean's 11 type look here. Like, I get it. Like,
yeah,
so,
I was like, oh, she's kicking that chair a little weird. That's I see.
but it was beautiful because it just revealed that the entire time they've been manipulating every
aspect of it since before we even came into the show.
It's just like I knew it, but seeing it happen was such validation for me. And then when he grabbed the spear, he was just like, "Oh, that's what it is." So
I
good.
love that he just pulls the fucking thing out of nowhere. Like it's just in his sleeve perpetually. He's got an RPG pocket in his sleeve. Apparently, I'm sorry. My favorite part was he just walked the fuck into King O whatever Zero.
And yeah, he's just like, "What the hell are you doing here?"
Yeah,
like,
he just walks the fuck up and he's like, "Hey, man," and he's like, "Wait, what? What the fuck?" He's like, yeah, I found this thing. What do I do with this?
It's just the fact that it played perfectly, and then he goes and he's like, "Hey, Gira, that's for you, bro." Like, oh my god.
He goes, I think this belongs in the hands of a true king. Here you go.
Beauty. It was a thing of beauty. Everything.
Yeah.
But I hope that whatever they do from him here forward is still okay because that's a master stroke.
Yeah.
Massive stroke.
So, Osama Sentai King Osier firing on all fucking cylinders right now. And it's still weird 19 episodes into this shit that I'm excited for a Sentai every week. Every week I'm like, why is there a time limit? Why are we not just dead next week already?
Why does time get to decide what I get to do?
Like, why can't I be buddies with, why doesn't your dad work at Nintendo? That kind of thing. Like, what the fuck?
I got Rose saying Kaguragi is a loose cannon and I love him. Absolutely. It's just the idea of like I said, it's everything he's done. Plus, and I'm guessing the plan has already come, but there could still be more because somehow they still keep pulling shit. And I'm like, how? Especially Suzume. Suzume is even more devious than he is. Like, fuck.
Dorky's asking if the flashback crown was the same as the gold crown. I think so. I think it was that's what I was saying, like, where I don't understand the timeline of this technology anymore. Where, like,
so you think you might have infused that crown?
I think that crown, like, the jewel was like the red jewel that they used in the crown, kind of thing.
I see. That could be. It might be, but either way, it's just such a weird peripheral. It's why.
I don't know. Why? But it's dope. This helmet's fucking dope. That's all I know. I want, like, this is the first one where I'm like, am I about to buy a Sentai suit? Is that? Am I about to buy a fucking Sentai suit?
I'll get Jeremy. Get Jeremy.
Okay. I'll get Tombo. Jeremy. That's cool.
I'm saying, man.
Especially if I can get, like, Tombo fucking King Osier. Like, the gold Tombo. Hell yeah.
Jeremy King
Osier. There is a white jewel on there. I'm just saying.
It's gonna gaze her up and I'm good.
Yep. Like, that's why I'm still so confused on why there's the multicolored jewels. Like, it has to be that they can all put it on. Like, even if they do it like the O Caliber, where they, like, press that and then press the red one and put it on, kind of thing. Like, it has to be something like that.
I'm all in agreement with you, 100%.
Yeah.
There's no way that this is the end. There better be something.
Also,
else.
What are they going to do for 30 more episodes? He's just going to run around with this, like.
Exactly. That's my point. It's like it's already, like, here. You're giving us Prism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're giving us fucking Putotira, like, already. Like, chill.
I don't buy it, is what I'm saying. I don't buy that this is all of it. So
there will be.
If we get a team of gold like that, like where they all have the King Osier form and it's just their various colors. Oh shit.
I feel bad for
that. That'll be a movie thing, I'm sure.
Dude,
I feel like that's a movie thing.
Dude, we're still getting movies.
There's gonna be crossover movies and everything.
Why did that not just hit me?
We're getting one soon. I don't really know if there's movie forms in that or not, but
we're getting movies from King Osier too.
Yeah.
We're
gonna get King Osier after King Osier.
You want more King Osier?
I do. That's my point.
More sauce, bro. Here's more sauce for that sandwich.
And speaking of firing on all 4 cylinders, I guess 9 cylinders at this point, Geets. What's
Blade.
up? Transition. Bam.
We nail it like we always do, homie.
Yeah.
Yo, okay. What's up with your boy, man?
So before. Okay, you were gonna talk about Keiwa. Okay.
Keiwa.
What I want to know is what your opinion of this arc is.
I made a video earlier and I didn't even get to send it to you. I was headcanoning so hard that I went in I had 4 different plot lines, but I brought it down to one that I'm gonna go with. Okay. So part of it is what is gonna be Keiwa's contribution. So catching up with everything, Keiwa got his wish, and it's the monkey in the wrench for him.
Yeah.
It is the ultimate monkey's paw, and I couldn't help
the wrench that killed the monkey, or whatever the fuck you said before.
It's the monkey in the wrench.
Yeah, the monkey that killed the wrench, or whatever the fuck. I was like, wait, what?
Swinging the wrench and the whole thing. That's exactly what happened. Was what I knew was gonna happen. I just didn't think it was gonna go as quickly as it did. But I think they're just like, hey, this is 43. We probably have 7 more episodes, if that.
We have 4 whole ass arcs to tie up right now. Hang on.
Yeah. So anyway, Keiwa gets his wish where everybody who died gets to come back.
Yes. Well, before that, we're not just talking the newest episode.
I
mean his arc in general.
We haven't even this. Did we even touch on Power?
No, we didn't. No, we have not talked about Black Shogun at all. Or Black General. We're going to call him Black Shogun.
We haven't caught up in a couple weeks. So
no.
Forgive me. But yes, so Keiwa's main character potential was put on the shelf when Ace really showed that
when Geets and Buffa decided to be the primary and secondary again.
Kind of where I was going. But
because
what I mean is
Keiwa is the tertiary. Fucking fight me. Okay? All of you can fucking fight me in the parking lot right now. Keiwa is the tertiary rider.
Yeah, every revelation of Geets' main plot has served to boost the story arcs of everyone around him while progressing everybody else's except Keiwa's.
Yep.
Keiwa's was always the one where it was Kekera. It was the villains who were pushing his...
Kekera wasn't even a villain at that point. He was kind of in his ear, hey, you want to be a Kamen rider? Do this.
But you could tell it was sus from the jump. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Anyone is a fucking talking statue. I think you're sus as fuck. So
true. I'd rather have a talking statue than fucking Shin, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I would much rather have that.
Yeah, no, that guy was annoying. So yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but it was more his again, it was our headcanon where he was going to be the new Kagami, but because that didn't happen, they were he's gonna be the surprise.
They were like, shit, we have too many good characters.
Yeah, and not enough characters who were being offed. To be frank.
Yeah, we had too many good characters, and we kept too many of those good characters around. God damn it!
Right.
We have 4 real strong characters, and we have to wrap them all up in the next 12 episodes. So everyone's gonna get 2 to 3, and then we'll figure it the fuck out.
I really hope that it's more when... I should have said I had hoped that it would have been he's going to correct everything. You know what I mean? He's going to be
Keiwa's going to be the one that kind of stops the chaos kind of thing.
Yeah, Keiwa was going to be you guys need to not do this. You know what I mean?
Whatever twisted thing Geets was going to get into because of his mom, whatever Buffa, fucking scorched earth campaign he was going to go on, whatever fucking Nago bleeding heart shit she was going to do. Keiwa was always going to be the one who was but guys, remember why we did this. Remember why we protect everyone. And then they went, but what if we just 180'd that? What if they just fucking 180'd all of that? And he went, but fuck off. How about that?
And do you think that introducing Sarah as a writer was solely meant for that?
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
That's what I was afraid of, because it was there was no other reason for her to do anything other than be his sister, unless it was.
And you know why? Because they already cashed in the Jamato collateral with his parents, or with their parents, I should say. Their parents were Jamato collateral. We learned that very early in the show. That when they learned about the DGP, that that's how they died. So Sarah being introduced, it was only going to be oh boy, what, oh boy, oh no. And we kind of, what I liked about this is she went through an arc of being a writer, and for the most part got out of it scotch-free. Like she went through the entire, like, okay, Michinaga being his Jimeidi bullshit, like he, his whole thing was be the big rider man, right? Defeat all the riders. That was his thing, and he was able to do so, and he was crushing all the ID cores. He goes through, there's a solid 4 or 5 episodes of him just crushing every rider he comes across, and that includes Sarah, Nago. He fights Kawa, but he doesn't really do anything. He doesn't get a hold of his ID core, but he's crushing these ID cores, and we find out that it's more altruistic than him just beating people up. He's doing this so that they can't become riders again and they stay in their normal life. It
evolved into him being more altruistic because of everything that he had seen, all the revelations from the Yamato, his whole, I think going through the Yamato thing formed that
absolutely,
because it was like, man, the disdain that he has for them, for the Yamato, is so like next level. I don't know. It felt like, because it feels like an affront to everything that he held dear.
Yeah.
And that was like, I finally see where he's going to go with this character, and that fueled this headcanon even further. So like, all right. That K1 now, let's just say he got the power up because of what happened to Sarah. So Sarah joined in, gets
well, she had joined and gone through her stint as a fucking writer, and basically through all the stuff in the background, them doing the grand end, which was this fucking butthole warp all of the shit out of existence. Michinaga is able to crush her ID core, all this stuff. The world completely resets, but Geats is the one who stops the real grand end from stopping. And holy shit.
So
it's okay. This form's beautiful. It's okay.
I'm trying to understand, or I've tried to understand my own feeling about where I'm putting this thing, because ever since it was introduced, it just keeps impressing me. You know what I mean? Like,
it impresses me how much, and I say this not that he's like not, the fucking god of creation now, but like ever since he's gotten it, he's been the fucking back wheel. Like, he's just around. Like, he's not doing a whole lot right now, other than like he'll run into the other characters.
So that's kind of where my the headcanon is anchored in. What they're doing with Geats, because if Ace was like, I'm just gonna fucking fix everything,
if I'm gonna main character this shit.
So like, but he's not doing that.
Yeah.
And I think the reason he's not doing that is because of how.
Because that's what the fucking administration would do.
Well, what I mean is like
the future people.
There's still one more loose thing, right? There's still the Tsumuri issue.
Yes. And
that's where the crux of it all is. So, before we get to that, it's the pure Mark 9 form itself. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw my initial reaction, but that was like half of what I feel. So like, holy shit, this form has been amazing to me, impressive as shit. Even though he does still pity pat the Yamato, which he should be just, dynasty swiping him.
Which it does get to a point where he does do that too.
Yeah, but it's more like how this is like the expression of the character, of the evolution of the power, that shush is forever going to live in my heart. I'm just saying, like, there is nothing that could probably top that.
There's very few things in this world that can top silencing your own fucking theme song. That's some tough shit.
For starters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's for starters. Let's talk about.
And then you style on this asshole.
and you want to talk about style, like. it is my bias towards the white suit.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, the white, golds, all of that always makes a clean, beautiful suit, in my opinion. But for some reason, this one takes that just like the Mugen. Like, I know you were there because the Mugen drove me nuts for like 3 months. I was like, this thing is so beautiful, and I felt that plus more with this form. And it's just, I'm so stuck on this. Like, unapologetically, I'm dropping that in Discord too for you guys. Look at this thing. It has the thematic, which is weird for me because I usually don't like animal themes. But this one,
it's because it's a mythological animal. That's why you enjoy it more.
I love the helmet shape. I love the color schemes. The engine look underneath him. You know what I mean? Like fucking, and the placement of the undersuit where it looks like a black hole around the Mark 9 gimmick. It's just, I need a minute every time I see this thing.
Yeah. I think my favorite part of the whole thing is the tassel tail things.
Yeah. And there's that. And it's not a cape.
Yeah. It's not a cape.
Oh my god. And the I think we're kind of big on, evolution, you know what I mean? The progression of a form. And from Kuga, you get the same thing where you get the elements and the hints of what's to come.
Yep.
But Kuga versus Ultimate Rising is like night and day, but it's still like, oh, I see. With Geats, it is that plus fucking plus more, because there's no way I would have thought, oh, it's gonna have 9 tails plus a blade gun.
Plus creation god powers where they can just manifest whatever they want and fix reality however they want. Because that's fine.
Oh man, I love.
Do you think you could take Space Jesus?
Ooh,
I think you could take Space Jesus.
I think what would happen is Space Jesus would have to really pull up the game.
Jesus a little harder.
He would have Jesus up hard to make that happen. Because whatever he's creating is going to get manipulated unless he can't affect Helheim.
I don't know. It's a reality, I would assume, that falls under the blanket of a reality. It may just be a alternate reality, but it's still a reality.
I'm curious as to where that wheelhouse falls.
Yeah.
But Kota versus Geese would be a dope fight, to say the least. But what is a dope fight, which I assume we're getting, is your boy, whenever he gets... Listen,
I wore the shirt today.
So hear me out. So here's where let me tell you my headcanon. That way you can take over from there. Okay. So here's what I keep thinking, and they've been showing it to us from the opening. Everything is gonna play out how it is. Nago just got her ultimate form, which was
yes, I do want to talk about that, so we'll come back to that.
Well, then let's talk about it now, because that's part of what's going on. So Nago's now in this situation where she now understands.
Oh, after all this, we fucking got off topic from Kawa. That was the whole point of starting this conversation.
You don't get off topic. What are you talking about?
We've never gotten off topic. But the point is, so because Nago falls into this too, this is why I kind of want to mention this. So Nago and Sarah had their ID cores crushed by Michinaga, and so they aren't able to become riders again, supposedly. So when Geats stops this grand end and starts his own DGP, he only allows people who want to be a part of it. And, he gives Kawa and Michinaga their belts and says, only do this if you want to. I'm not forcing you to do anything. So they eventually decide to, because, they want to protect people. They have similar minds at this point. We saw very early again in the show that they bonded, from a point of like, hey, we both just want to save people. Like that was kind of what they bonded over in the beginning. And, that's where we kind of got the seeds planted where, like, Michinaga's not a total asshole. Like, he's an asshole, don't get me wrong. But
the correlation that I made that just coming up with this was the Liu Bei and Cao Cao.
Yes.
Like,
yes. It's like, we both want the same thing. We may go very differently about getting it, but we do want the same thing. And that's why we're going to work together for a while and then start our own kingdoms and then, fuck off. So, it doesn't end great. But either way, Cao Cao wins, I'm just saying. So in this case, Michinaga is definitely more Cao Cao. So yeah.
Cao Cao does win.
Yeah, so Michinaga is going to win, period. Because he's the secondary rider. So yeah.
I'm in agreement. Yes.
No, I know you are, but everyone out there is going to tell me that
fight.
Keiwa is the fucking secondary, and I will literally fight you once again. So my point is, Sarah and Neon are not able to become riders, so they kind of get stuck in this new Jamato thing. And our boy Daiichi, who is the smartest man to ever join the DGP, is fucking around with the Jamato, being some kind of whatever. I hated this little thing, by the way.
The parasites?
Yeah, so like the parasites are fine. Just the fact that it was is Daiichi, and it's just like, why do we care about this dude anymore?
Because the writers wrote him and were like, oh shit.
Yeah, they were like, we don't want to make another character because we already have this Jeet Game Master guy coming in. So like, let's have Daiichi come back and be the new Archimedes or whatever his name is. And he's making these little parasite Jamato that infect people, and if enough get into your body, you become a level 2 Jamato, and there apparently is no coming back from that, which they learned the hard way. As he's releasing these parasites into the world, people are becoming Jamatos, and Michinaga is obviously destroying them, stopping the Jamato as he does, and he fights one that evolves into this level 2, and they seem to, when they get to level 2, they seem to get more of like their usual, like kind of like the ones we've seen before, like they're different looking. And Michinaga kills it, and it turns into Sarah, and Keiwa happens to show up.
Michi did nothing wrong.
Michi did nothing fucking wrong, and you can see the horror in his face, which is what I love most about this scene, because he goes, "Oh God, I fucked up."
It's that.
Oh God, I fucked up.
What did I just do?
Yeah.
No.
Like, literally, your poison charge. And he goes, oh, fuck.
You not, like, yes, he had that moment, but, like, not even the next second he accepted it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, shit.
Yes.
He was like,
he accepted it, but to me, I feel like because his personality is very much, straightforward and stubborn and whatever, it was, fuck, I have to live with this consequence now.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So like he's like, come what may. That's fucking like,
right.
He regrets the fuck out of it. I guarantee it. But he also immediately wants, not immediately, but like the next episode. So essentially this drives Keiwa to the dark side, if you will.
YouTube. Yeah, no, legit.
It drives him to YouTube, where he watches a lot of hairstyling videos on the goth fashion. So
listen, let's talk about it. Because, all right, what happens to Keiwa after what happens to Michi is like he's now like dead set on trying to either atone for it or at least stop Keiwa by paying the ultimate price. Like he's just
so his thing is like Keiwa's beef is with me, and he sees that Keiwa kind of gets a little unhinged, and because of this, Keiwa takes Sumuri and essentially helps the administration make Sumuri the next goddess of creation. But it kind of like she's halfway there. Like she's not quite the full goddess yet, but we've seen her inkling of power already, right? Like she brought Ace back. She made the she eventually makes Black Shogun or Black General Bushin Sword. And like so Keiwa goes to her and says, "Please, I need the power to help like avenge my sister." And because Sumuri doesn't really have like full control over powers, like all of these things kind of have like a caveat to them, right? Like he now has Bushin's sword, but like it kind of is making him a little insane.
You think that's it? I think it's
no. I think it's amplifying whatever's fucking there at this point.
The power that it's giving him is fucking him up.
Like absolute power corrupts absolutely kind of thing. He is so dead set on now just resetting the world so he can have it. He is Scorch Earth campaign, right? Like so he henshins this form. I fucking love this form, by the way. I don't know if we really talked about that much. I fucking love this form.
We didn't because there was a while there where we were debating what it was going to be, even what it was called.
We saw the scans and it was like, okay, so the helmet's like a repaint of the Twin Command and yada yada yada. Like obviously a lot of these are going to be repaints after Geats got his Geats 9. A lot of these suits that they're getting now are repaints, which is honestly the best repaints they've fucking done in the franchise. So that's cool.
Said it. When they do it and it's right, they fucking nail it.
Yeah, like this thing I was skeptical at first, but holy shit, do I love this fucking form.
Oh yeah. dropping 2 in the Discord so that you can show our friends.
Yeah.
But this is the whole thing of like the opposite of Geats, where this all black and green and heavy. Like,
I love the green, by the way.
Yeah,
it is a fucking beautiful shade of green.
I know you would. You would. But it's just the idea that there's like the counter to Geats. You know, that's what they're building him up to be. And even though he, I don't know, forced Sumuri to give him this, you know, he compelled her through this. I don't want to say he was playing because he was sincere, but it was sincerely, I don't know, to get power. You know,
it was it was a much more devious connotation than he normally would. Like, so, and then Keikura's laughing it up because, you know, he wants to see this ultimate Kamen Rider. Like, that's his thing, right? Like, he wants a good show, and his whole thing is like the fall from grace. He really is about that, and that's what Keiwa's going through right now. And a lot of people are like, oh, this isn't Keiwa's character, and it's like, I don't think you guys understand grief. Like, my man is going through some shit right now, and like in the newest episode, they do something that I think is by far the worst that they've done for people that have an issue with this arc, and it's where they're just like, oh, yep, everyone's dead again, by the way. Like,
so okay, that was the monkey's paw. That was the monkey in the wrench for Keiwa. Like, he pulled out all these tricks and devious like lies to get what he wanted, and then when he finally got it,
like, yeah, it's like a fixed point in fate. Like, they're bound to die anyway.
It was canon event. Sorry.
Yeah, like, he literally shows up, and apparently some news segment said his entire family is dead again. I was like, what the fuck?
So that's the kind of caveat to his wish that we've been told this entire show, is that I want to bring everybody back, and that means all of the dicks too.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he didn't think about that part.
Yeah.
Because that is what ends up costing him his entire game plan. Yeah. And it's like, the second that happened, I was like, oh, that's much too fast. Yeah. Like, there's nothing there.
I was more upset about how it happened. How it was just like an off. Like, it's one of those things where I would rather see it, not be told it.
And we got both. Barely.
Yeah. We didn't even really see it. We didn't see any of it.
Frame of an explosion, and that was it. But yeah, you're right. It was.
We didn't see anything. But the explosion could have been fucking anything. We didn't see anything.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. Maybe they're alive. Maybe
they're not.
I don't know. Maybe not. No, there was a bunch of names of dead people, I think.
Yeah, something like that. But either way, wasn't a huge fan of that. I thought that was a really weak thing to kind of like make him go like full dark side. But getting back to the form itself, when it's introduced, he's fighting Michinaga is the first time he uses it. And Dorky's saying he loves that he always kicks the sword to poison charge it now. And we talked about it when it started, when he started fighting Geats, right? Like, that's the first time he did it. The fact that he fucking does it constantly is just beautiful. I love it so much. It's such a good thing. It's so him. I love this character.
It is a good thing.
It's a good fucking thing. And you know what happens to good things? They come to an end because Keiwa bitches him. He trumps his ass hard.
Keiwa takes out all of that Michi did nothing wrong energy and just plants it. And you could tell that even then he was holding back. He had all the wherewithal and all the ability to destroy the driver, kill his ID core, and end the whole thing, but he didn't because he wanted him to live with the guilt.
Yeah,
I don't buy that for a second. He
wanted him to suffer.
That's what he said. That's what he said. I don't buy it. I don't get it. I don't get
but
that.
I don't get that part. I think the Keiwa that we have now would have just fucking finished it at this point, honestly. I think that's where he's at. But at the same time, I think he knows, and this is just from what actually happens in the show, he knows Michinaga is like eating himself the fuck up about this. He knows. And I think that is giving him some kind of like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, this guy murdered my family. Like, literally, it's, you know, someone murders my family. I want them to rot in jail. I don't want them to get the death sentence. That's the easy way out. I want them to fucking rot. I want them to be miserable. And like, I totally see that too, to a degree. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because again, I would be a petty motherfucker. I would do that kind of shit.
I think even angry, depressed Keiwa is still a bleeding heart. You know what I mean? I still think he's still holding on to that, you know, It's Michi.
It's Michi. Yes, I think that's part of it too. Like, there's still that very. I don't want to say they have like deep. Like, I don't think their connection is as deep as like him and Ace, maybe. No. Not really, but like they have bonded. So I think that was part of it. He's not fully gone, and we did get, you know, an inkling of that there's going to be some kind of purified version of this form, whether it's like a light version where they just reverse the colors because they like doing that, like an orange and white kind of thing, whatever the case may be. So yeah, like that's very possible where he kind of comes out of it. I don't know. I just really like this form. I don't want it to go away. So whatever they end up doing to keep it around, that's fine. I hope it's more silver than white. That way you can kind of tell Geets and him apart a little bit, because I think when they're moving around, that might be hard if they're kind of the same colors.
Yeah, I really hope that they don't do that, because it's not going to be a good look. Like, especially if they're going to go the direction, because now since
just like change the eye color or something. Like, I think that would be cooler, because like it's this deep red right now versus all this. Make it like blue, you know, like just change the eye color.
Something as simple as that could be enough.
Yeah, right. Like just change the eye color. That way you still have this striking dark form. Like, it fits the whole ninja thing. You know, ninjas wear black because they're trying to be sneaky. I get it. It's cool. And then like it still has his green in there, but then you just turn the blue on, which is a much softer color. It's not as aggressive like the red. So
it is a shogun.
It's a black general.
I don't know what it is.
It's a shogun.
It is called Bujin Sword.
Yep.
The episode is called the Jet Black Shogun.
Mm-hmm. And then we never hear the word shogun uttered ever again.
And it looks like a ninja. So
it looks like a ninja.
I don't know what's going on.
A cyborg ninja. But yeah, what did you think about the judgment cut that he did in this episode, in the newest episode?
Okay, so like the whole thing where I felt like, oh, that was too fast. It felt very whatever.
Yeah.
And
fucking
yet,
anime, yeah.
he goes and he Virgil cuts him, and I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. Thank you. That's fine.
Pretty freaking dope.
And it didn't need a build-up. You know what I mean? It didn't need a fight, because if you gave him a fight from a dude who just had a simple arms attachment, you know what I mean? Like, I get that. And what a way to establish that power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was kind of funny, because that dude just had like a powered weapon, like entry form, and he's like, yeah, I have a final form. Hold this.
Like, yeah, that's cute.
Yeah.
Sit down.
He literally fucking, if you guys saw Dragon Ball Super, when Goku goes Mastered Ultra Instinct and just fucks Jiren up and and like throws him to the side, that's literally what happens. It's great.
That was great. That was so dope. But now I'm looking at it like there's what they did with that episode is just like resetting the next thing to like do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's setting up Kawa to be like a bad guy, basically. He's got his Legion of Doom now. That's pretty much what it is. I don't know why.
Do you like? Okay, so since we're talking about this power up, this one he got by convincing Sumuri to give him that.
Mm-hmm.
Our other two villains were just handed theirs by their counterpart. I don't know what to call him. Jeet is weird.
Jeet is our newest game master, who apparently is the game master they call for bad ends, is what they call it.
Which is what I like. Yeah, that means he's like
for fucked up people like me who are like, let's just burn it all down.
Right, I like that, but I don't see how he's doing any of that. You know what I mean?
He takes out a fucking nightstick and he starts beating people, not even henching.
Do you remember the Donnie Yen movie Killzone?
Oh, do I remember it? Of course I do.
I never watched that.
It's in a fucking box behind me.
His little sequence, and you know what's impressing me more? The fact that these are out of suit. You know what I mean? Like these are dudes doing this shit, and I'm like, ever since I saw Hiromi with the swordplay, I'm like doubling in on the out of suit shit. Because Hiromi's, I don't know if you've checked it out, bro. But if you have, please do. Hiromi's swordplay in that dumb movie was impressive as shit, and as impressive as this dude's fucking Tonfa. He whoops ass.
He takes a fucking baton to these people, and I was like, poor Punk Jack's arms. Good lord.
Like, oh yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, he's just wailing on him. Punk Jack's like, oh god, somebody help.
It's just
not the face.
Like, yeah, so he's a badass somehow, but his plan is still kind of I don't get it. I don't know what he's
so they're still trying to. Jeet is this game master who is taking over with Sules, the one who shot our boy, what was his name? Gazer. Yeah. Shot him and is kind of taking over as the new admin, the producer. And And Jeet, I'm going to assume, is going to have some kind of glare recolor suit if he doesn't have Gazer, because I think Celeste is going to have Gazer. But, you know, he's going to henshin at some point. He's definitely not getting his own suit, though. It's going to be another repaint. And, yeah, or he'll just fight them in their rider suits out of one, and that's even more impressive, honestly. That'd be fucking crazy.
Baton, like just a powered fucking.
Yeah, he just gets a longer baton. He just gets a staff. That's all it is. Dorky's saying just take the cape off for Kawa. I dig this cape. This is like the only cape I've actually liked so far. But yeah, for to like change to a good version, it's a little bit of a delay. But yeah, to take it off for the good version, just take the cape off. No, keep the cape. So
Mark says we have different game masters for different styles of running the GM. I need the GM. That's right here.
Yeah. Rob is the magical girl one.
No. It's just Goth Sumudi was perfect. Thank you.
That's Goth Sumudi. That's whoever that dude. Bring that guy back.
Give me both, and I need both. Goth Sumudi and Goth George constantly in my control room. Thanks.
Yeah, that's how the show's gonna end. It's just gonna be those two from now on. So. Good Lord.
I'm not apologizing. That shit was like
that movie was amazing. Oh my god.
Thank you for that.
I appreciated that. I want to watch that movie again suddenly. Weird. But yeah. It's you know, I guess let's get into Nago since that's this week as well.
Because that'll take me to Sumudi again. So so Nago, I think we talked about it. She is a creation of the former
I don't know if we actually did. Yeah, we did because we talked about the laser rays, whatever booster.
I think. Well, now you know. So she is a creation, and that revelation has really shaken up her idea of herself. Now, that's okay because you know since then she's been like be reinforced by the characters like Sarah, by all these characters that have reinforced her self-worth. Yeah. So. We have now this moment where
she's getting genuine love. That's what it is. Like, it's cool to see that, like, her character is like, okay, maybe there's more to genuine love than, like, an actual, like, love partner. You know what I mean? Like, an actual partner in life.
So that's, like, where I'm, like, where Kosei, the father, has been, like...
Time Fire,
Time Fire is, like... All right, so rock with me here, okay? Kosei... When we first were introduced to him, immediately we're like, dick. We're like, damn. It sucks because I like the Time Fire dude, and I didn't see where they were going with him. I thought he was just going to be
I still think it's a little all over the place, honestly, but it's cool.
Was until this last episode. So literally the last decision he made is where I know now what's going to happen with him. So...
I can tell you what's going to happen with him.
Here's my head. So, okay. So he gets this form, which is fucking dope. Let me just find that. Gyago?
Gyago. Yeah. Like Nago, but Gyago. Gyago. GYA-GO.
Yeah. So this
which is, just so you guys know, is just a Seeker helmet repaint.
I was going to say, it's
Kamen Rider Seeker's helmet.
But at this point, we're so used to kit bashes that we just kind of, like in instances where this is happening, where the paint job of a kit bash is enough to convince me that it looks entirely different upon first inspection, and second, because I'm kind of dense. I'm okay with it. Like, but the fact that it was the Seeker helmet immediately, I was like, no, that's just one. And I know you like it. I know you do.
I do. I fucking love this form.
I wanted to like it more. I don't know, man. This paint job works. The construction site one does not.
Oh, you're talking about Seeker
helmet. I'm talking Seeker helmet.
I love the Seeker helmet. I love this thing. I think this looks way better than the original.
This thing is amazing.
Yeah, no, this thing looks fantastic. I love this. I love the colors. The colors are amazing.
The color scheme, I mean, immediately I was like, oh, she's getting that. It's like, I was getting that. And it's the fantasy buckle, which I'm trying to understand.
You know what? I'm not going to even pretend, because like if you look in the teaser for next week, there's a lot of other things happening that he never does. So this buckle is badass. I don't know how else to describe it, but it can create these like shield things that can fall from the sky and block him, but then they become bits, and like I think they're just bits, honestly. I think she's gonna get a bunch of fucking bits.
They're pile bunker bits, man.
Yeah.
They're
but like in the preview, she has this very like holy light around her in a circle that looks almost like one of the soul rings. So I think they might just literally be bits, and that's her thing.
So Kosei, let's talk about what happens to this, because I know I just showed you this, but I didn't explain what happened here. So Kosei has come to regret, after losing everything, that he didn't give the love that he should have to Nago and Nail, excuse me.
Yeah.
And the fact that now she's facing this unknown, and he has no way to protect her, and he's like, what can I do in order to find a way to protect her now that I know she's the most important thing to me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find Ace.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Like, the fact that this once proud dude who had it out for everybody gets to his knees and begs Ace for a way to protect her. And that's all he said, bro. That's all he said. And Ace was like, got you. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think it was the fact that he knows that it was all for Neon and not him. That's where Ace was like, okay.
Yep. And gives him this fantasy buckle, which is one thing.
Yeah.
Then Kosei, please watch his henshin.
Yes.
Please watch that.
He time fires in the henshin, by the way.
If you like time fire, if that energy is like in your chest, this is time fire and then a little bit more. So like
I watched the henshin and then I didn't realize it, and then I watched Time Fire's henshin because I was like, it's been a hot minute since I've seen this, and I was like, holy shit, he just does the Time Fire henshin. Holy shit, he just does the Time Fire henshin.
It is so sick. I was like, I hope.
Loved it.
Shout out to Zio, because every time I see Kosei, the Time Fire jingle and that little gimmick he plays, it's just always in my head. But seeing this, I was like, that is so fucking cool. Oh my God. Like, so he gets this form. First thing he does is he rails on the dude, the dude who initially kidnapped.
Say it. I'm sorry. No, say it. Say it with your chest, because that was fucking wild.
He lands the punches of punches on the fucker that kidnapped his original Akari daughter. And it is so fucking clean. So good. I was like, I'm surprised he didn't just kill him right there.
Oh, yeah,
man.
no, I would have bit his fucking throat if that was me. Holy shit.
So it's the inklings of like how he's come to understand, and the same dickhead who cost him everything before is back. Yep. And you guys know, if you guys don't know, I recently, my partner here had edited a video for me of my expression as to Gento Igarashi, and Genta Igarashi in Revice is a father figure. And I guess something about these father figures is taking these stories to a whole different level for me, because this dude gives everything he's got to fight to protect his daughter.
Yeah.
And just watching that and knowing that he knows he doesn't stand a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just needs enough power. He doesn't plan to live. Yeah. He just plans to protect her. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
it did. Crazy. You know, it's funny you say that, because I was watching it and I was like, dang, this is kind of just like a Diet Genta. I probably would have enjoyed this a lot more if there was like Geet's Legacy Kosei kind of thing. Not that would have happened because he wasn't a writer before this, but I also like, it really was just Genta 2 Electric Boogaloo kind of thing. And like, this form's really dope. This fight was pretty cool. I don't know if you caught the part where he like jumped the dude into the fucking rafters and knocked his head against it. I was like, yo. Plus they're in a kitchen. That holds a little near and dear to my heart. It's the fucking fan, the vent fan. That's what he throws him into. It was fucking cool. And it's just like, it's a scrap. It's not even a fight. This is a scrap.
And it's such a good one. It's such a good one, man.
They're like rolling around, throwing each other, not just him throwing this dude around. Like, they're throwing each other on like plates and shit. It's so cool. It was really, really good. I enjoyed this a lot. And I was a little annoyed where the episode ended, because that was like, oh, he took one. Okay. And then the episode like cuts to credits and I was like, oh, we're done here. Okay. Well, guess I'm going to wait 7 days for this one.
Well, I think it was because of what's going to happen the next
Yes,
episode. Like,
absolutely.
I think because what we're going to see now is Nago not only get her final form, which is fine.
Yep.
It's fine. I really, I wanted it kind of like how everybody else had gotten theirs, like of their own volition. But considering her story arc is the acceptance of love, I can't think of a better way now. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, and I think that's more the key to it. It's not necessarily their own volition; it's their own character growth.
Right.
So even though she, this is created for Nago. Let's be real here. This is created for Nago, and just the way that she gets it may not be like, oh, I'm gonna go here and do this thing and talk to this person and get it, or like whatever. But like receiving it from someone who she believed had zero love for her was, is very great, honestly. Like a lot of these are just really cool cherries on their fucking stories so far, in my opinion.
It's been the fulcrum of Geats. Like it took us 40 episodes, but I think again, the character building that you've gotten around your main character, like Tendo did to Kagami, Ace has done to like 5 Kagamis around him. So it's like I can't be upset.
Also not getting lost in any of them, which is kind of wild.
Again, it's not like they're flawless, because there are elements where I feel like if a little more focus was put on Geats, maybe we didn't need this little, the fucking the goofy arc. Like every season has the goofy arc. The Cherum. You know what I mean? That Cherum thing, didn't need that. But anyway, my point is like it's gotten us to this point, and it's gotten us to this story arc, and it's gotten us to this next episode that's coming up. Spoilers. Nago gets her final form, and what I think is going to happen here forward is the domino effect for your boy's final form.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so here's my idea, and I'm not sure if I'm right. Okay. So if you remember, in the beginnings, in the opening, they show Sumuri pointing a gun at Ace, right? There's a story plot that they reveal that Sumuri is not at her full power as long as Ace is alive. So I think ultimately what's going to happen is, realizing that they probably can't win, Ace is going to take the L so that Sumuri can grant one final wish to your boy. Now, there's the thing about that wish. Your boy right now is looking through Daichi, because Daichi has the tree of memories.
Humanity's memory. He has fucking Yggdrasil just hanging out somewhere. Right. It's this culmination of humanity's memories.
So you get another reset, probably on a grand scale, where Michi's wish is there are no more riders, but everybody keeps their memories of it.
See, we kind of already had that, though. That's the only problem with that.
But we had the ability to still have riders.
Yeah.
That's where Michi is different.
I don't think we're going to get any more resets like that, to be honest with you, unless the last one. I don't think we're going to. I think what's going to happen is I think that's an interesting idea that you put forward, that like Geats is going to sacrifice himself to get, Sumuri, to get like the team one last boost, that kind of thing. I think this humanity thing, this tree of humanity, is going to kind of send Michi spiraling a little bit, and he's going to be like, Mao is the Devil King, right? Like, it's either going to kill him and resurrect him, like we've seen him do already with the zombie buckle and everything. We know that's a passive ability that he's gained over the years from using the zombie buckle so much.
Keiwa flamed him with one too.
Yeah.
How like a zombie to cling to life.
Yeah. He was like, oh shit, all right. So it's gonna be interesting to see, and I think we might get kind of a two heels going at it sort of thing with him and Keiwa, because I think this humanity tree is not gonna be all happy, good, hunky-dory. I think it's going to be more of like when Super Buu uses the memories of Piccolo and Goten against Gohan.
Other than being fodder, what about Beroba and Kekera? Like, I don't know what their purpose is anymore. Like,
at this point, they are the final bosses for Keiwa and Michi. That's what they are.
But they're not, though. You know what I mean? Like, they're steps.
I mean, they kind of are. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so if Ace's final boss is whatever is happening with Tsumuri, and it's probably Jeet and Celeste, right? Oh, and someone asked, Dorky asked if we're going to think the Celeste is going to turn into Gazer, like female Gazer. I absolutely believe so, and I think it's going to be fucking fire.
It'll be so fucking clean.
Yeah. I think that's kind of how it's lining up. I don't know who Nagos is really going to be, other than this kidnapper dude, unless she's just kind of there helping like she usually does. She's just kind of always there.
Unless they kind of shake up the formula.
Unless Kyun comes back or something. I don't know. Yeah. Kyun's a thing still. The boyfriend, yeah. So, I mean, Gene is still technically a thing too, but he's just like fucking around somewhere.
The other boyfriend,
yeah. So I think Keikara and Beruba are going to be kind of how Michi and Keiwa get wrangled back in. That's what it's going to be for the final push to Celeste and, Jeet and all them, to help Geets again. Because I think what's happening right now is like Ace is here watching all of his friends kind of like spiral out, right? Like that's kind of what's going on. He's like, what the fuck? Like I was trying to just make everyone happy. And they're kind of all like, they were cohesive for a little bit. He even brought Michi back. They even had the cool like bro moment in this one. And I think he's going to kind of spiral off again a little bit. Kay was obviously fucking over here, left field somewhere. I just think they are strictly going to be what wrangles them both back in. That's what it is. So
what about that one? Okay, sorry. Now, if Jeet is not, let's say Jeet is not any of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just gets offed. I still want to go with this idea that Jeet has to make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because there's no other way for her to get her power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They haven't established that.
She's like a husk right now. Like it's bad.
It's like she's holding back though on purpose.
Yeah.
Because she's so bound to Ace that she can't, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what the link is other than that's her will.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all that's necessary, right? Like if the goddess herself is like no, then no. So like yeah, I think Ace is the one thing that's going to be the issue for that.
Yeah. And thinking on Keiwa and Beruba again. Sorry, my brain is stuck on it now that we're just talking about it. I'm gonna be really mad if Keiwa fucking slashes Kekara down and goes, haha, gotcha, bitch. I'm gonna be real mad. I'm not gonna lie. That's how you ruin this entire heel turn. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. If he's like, oh yeah, I listened to your plan and I knew you were up to no good and like blah 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 blah, and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, what the fuck? How did you ruin something so good?
You go to a cut super close, that little smirk they do that.
Yeah, like haha, I've been watching you the whole time. He just like cuts him down, and I was like, like I in my head I'm literally picturing right now they're standing in like the gang rider hideout or whatever, and like Keikara turns around and goes mur, 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 and Keiwa just like swing, ready, fight, and it like the belt just goes off and he's like in Black Shogun and he's cutting Keikara down.
Unless it's an actual, like a fucking.
Oh, I think we're getting a Saber style boss rush. Honestly, like it has to be the last 2 episodes have to be like a Saber style boss rush at this rate. Like we're just putting like 7 or 8 of these dudes, lining them up for them to just tear through.
I hope so. I really do. Because I just don't see the ties. I don't see how they tie these up so that it's to one point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless, again, my thought is the Geets dying. That's the only thing, because you get the superpowered Samuri, and then one of their wishes is going to probably fix everything. The only one who I can think would make that happen is Michi. But how?
So you're thinking Michi does the Ryuki thing where he resets everything, but they still know each other.
Michi's Ren, okay?
Yeah.
In this scenario, Michi
absolutely, yeah.
But it's the fact of like what wish or what instance, what scenario can be set up from here to then that would make whatever wish
Yeah.
tie it all up. I don't see, even if you kill everybody, that doesn't solve it, because you still have to bring people back. I think, unless they stay dead.
Yeah. It's really hard to like predict how this is gonna go, because like 3 episodes ago, I would have said Michi's just tired of fucking losing. That's how he's gonna get this form. Like, he's just so goddamn tired of. He's holding a lot of L's lately. Pretty much since him and Geets fought that anglefish, whatever the fuck it was called, the prehistoric Jamato, Archimedes. Ever since they fought that thing, he's pretty much been holding L's the whole time. And I was gonna put money on that he actually died and like resurrected with this new buckle kind of deal, just being the Devil King. You know what I mean? Like, he actually went to hell and clawed his way back. That kind of deal.
That would be nice if he went in. Oh, what if he goes in the tree and comes out, Mao?
Yep, that's probably what's gonna happen. Yo, he's gonna have all of humanity in his buckle. Oh fuck, he's gonna have the souls because he's the Devil King.
Could you imagine?
Fuck.
Oh my god.
Yo.
Okay. All right.
That's definitely absolutely what's going to happen. That thing is going to become the buckle.
Do you see how good we've eaten with Geets to this point?
And King Oger.
So, like, I'm transition. So, everything with Geets so far, and I know you're going to agree, has just blown us away. Our from our beginning of okay to now, it's like,
it wasn't even okay. It was, what the fuck? I hate this suit.
Like, what is this? But now it's like, oh wow, I get it now. Yeah. To King Oger, which is continuing to surprise us. That being said, I think the other day.
Welcome to Ultraman Blazer.
I think the other day I had my first instance of,
so yeah,
it hasn't let up. And I know we watched it and you told me shut up, wait till today.
Yep.
And I have shit to talk about.
I do too. So you mentioned in the Discord that you were watching it in the dub. I did watch the dub today. So I've watched the episode 3 times now.
Oh, you watched it? Okay, so I
did watch the third time, yeah. The third time was, so I guess it was technically like 2.5 because we like scrubbed through it. Like, we watched it on stream the other night. So if you guys didn't know, twitch.tv/Kaiju Carl, you guys can go over there. We'll be watching Ultraman like live, all that kind of stuff. We watch Regulus. We're going to watch Blazer. We'll watch some other stuff every once in a while. We're going to watch Soul Land. We watched Soul Land the other day. We're going to watch more Soul Land.
Sure.
But
I'm ready.
We watch stuff over there. Twitch.tv/Kaiju Carl. If we're not hanging out on YouTube, we're over there. You guys can head over. But we watched it live, and then we kind of like scrubbed through and like picked it apart, right? Like, we watched the fight again, and then some of the things that happened before and after. More so before.
Yeah, the more things where we were like, well, okay, right off the bat.
And okay, so give me your gut reaction and then your reaction after you've let it sit for a few days.
My gut reaction immediately was like, I love this design. I'm not in love with this Ultraman, and I don't know why. And I figured it out on the second watch. That doesn't help. That does not help at all. At all.
Oh my god.
At all. Actually, it is the number one detriment to this thing. It sounds like a Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like,
it sounds like someone trying to be a Pokemon. It's not even sounding like a Pokemon. It sounds like it's some asshole like dancing in your yard who's like 3 beers deep trying to be a Pokemon.
Because there are instances where it's not that rolling R thing, and it sounds kind of schwa-ish. You know what I mean? Like, you could pull off that, you know?
Yeah.
But they do this rolling R cry that's just but that's just Blazer. Okay.
Yeah.
But before that, bro, I was 100% invested into this, and I always am, into the military tactics, into this planning, this methodical, mysterious power that this leader guy has. And yet he's always the first one to jump into the fray. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm with you. I'm rocking with it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah. And like, heart brought an energy. Like, he really did.
And then it's heart.
Yeah.
And it's heart. And it doesn't, like, none of the vibes are like, oh, that's heart. I had to like, oh shit, that's hard. Like, you know what I mean? So like I love that it's giving me the military vibe that I like the most. Johnny Young Bosch is boshing harder than I've heard him bosh in a while. Like, even Ichigo is not this Johnny. Like,
yeah.
Holy shit! I was like, this is like almost. Does he think this is an anime? Like, it's.
Yes.
I couldn't get it.
Okay. I'm sorry. Continue. I interrupted you. Continue.
Those are my two gripes.
Okay.
Of the show, it's the Johnny Young boshing pretty hard, but then they build up this military thing, which is kind of like I was really for it, and I know we're gonna get the explanation, but man, of all the vagueness of this Ultraman, other than the changer, there is nothing else we're getting about this. You know what I mean? Yep. It's just you see him work the changer, and that's it. And it's like,
to be fair, the changer worked him, to be honest.
I'm getting asked, can I try to do a Vice from Kamen Rider voice? Vice?
Vice? Do you want me to do the fucking the voice that I did for the voiceover thing?
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah, I did an audition for a dub of Vice, if you guys didn't hear it. All right. Fuck, what was the line? Hang on. Let me go find the line.
I just like a voice. Nice. Yeah.
It's basically Kuwabara. That's the voice that I did. It was like, hey, Iki, what are you doing over there? It was that kind of thing.
I love it. What's my favorite Sentai? Oh boy, you gotta come around because there's a talks and discussions for that. It's the simple answer. King Oger is my new favorite Sentai, and my new Kamen Rider series. My favorite Kamen Rider series. Boy, Gaim.
Yeah, he's a basic bitch.
I am. I'm an unapologetic one too.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So Blazer, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm glad my camera was off because holy shit, was I eye rolling and did I not like that episode?
It was cringe moments.
It was not great, but I did really like. I really liked everything before the fight because it felt very Shin. It felt very of the Shin universe. Like we had the actual henshin. Once he does it, you know, the hands come up and stop the building and everything, and the way that they're talking is very like realistic to the military. So I enjoyed that a lot. The dub dumbs that down really hard, and I was not a fan of that.
That's dumbed down. I can't remember enough of the Japanese.
The only reason I remember is because I still had the subtitles on when I had it in dub. That's the only reason I know. So they're talking, and I'm reading the subtitles that I read in the Japanese version. It's the same subtitles. So I'm reading the subtitles and hearing them talk, and it's much more laid back in the English dub. It's not as like Ulysses 1 in, Ulysses 1 out. Like sometimes they'll be like, heard you on that. See you later, champ. Like,
right.
Yeah. So it's that kind of thing. I was not a fan of the dub for that. The dub otherwise was fine, honestly. It's whatever. Ultraman dubs are fun, if it nothing else, you know what I mean? We watched Regulos in dub for the most part, and it was fine. But okay, so letting it sit for a few days, I was really hyped to watch Blazer because he very clearly was using some kind of space Muay Thai, or that's the way they kind of showed it. And he still does.
Yeah.
It's still very Muay Thai inspired. And once I thought about it, the shit sounds like a Muay Thai fighter. And like that's kind of what I liked.
Is that supposed to be like the elephant trump noise?
So they do a lot of like when you hear them, like that kind of stuff. It sounds like a Muay Thai fighter to me. Like I was watching some stuff. There's a show on Netflix called Fight World. You guys should check it out. I was watching a trailer for that and just kind of going down my usual martial arts hole that I usually fucking do. And I was watching something. I watched some Ung Bak clips and just some other random like Muay Thai stuff. And they do. So like what I mean by he's using Muay Thai. He does the ceremony, right? Like he does the fucking straight up ceremony, and then he has the stance that's very like it's not quite Muay Thai, it's more like this, but you know, he does this stance that's very like martial arts stance. He's doing a lot of knees. He fucking teeps the shit out of someone. Like he teeps the shit out of this monster. And if you guys don't know what a teep is, it's like a pushing front kick. Like he teeps the fuck out of this thing.
It's like a gospel.
Yeah, and he's doing elbows and like knees, and like he's very feral, but at the same time he's doing like almost more like the Mad Dog Salat kind of thing versus Salat, where it's like blah, blah, blah.
Did you see the moments there? Like, and here's where my question is: is there two? I know there's two. Let me rephrase that. When he takes over the Gento, it's Gento, right?
Yes,
Gento?
that is Heart's name in this. Yes, Gento, one of those two.
When Gento I think comes back to himself, there's moments there where Blazer's just like looking at himself.
Yes,
like,
yes.
You know what I mean?
We talked about that on the stream because there's like moments where he's like he's doing this and then he goes, "What the fuck? Whoa, what? Yeah. Wait, what?" So I think. Usually in Ultraman, from the ones that I've seen, when an Ultraman possesses someone, they're still able to communicate with them, at least the newer ones. I don't know if that's necessarily true for like the old ones, but they can communicate. They're in like a Zanpakuto mind palace kind of deal. Like Zet, Haruki and Zet talk to each other. They have full conversations.
Which is what I thought. Yeah, I thought that was all.
So I'm curious if this is going to be what this is, where like maybe they're just kind of biting for possession almost, like it's split personalities almost, which would be interesting if he is just a being of light, which would be kind of cool actually.
And then there's another aspect. What the fuck was up with that temper tantrum? What was that?
Where he's jumping and just screaming? Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so here's where I was thinking. I'm like, okay, so because he doesn't know what's going on, because he's not actually communicating with it, and because he's having instances of what the fuck is going on, is this a brand new warrior of light, like a baby? You know what I mean? Like, is this
like it's almost like, is this a child? Like, what is this? What's happening? Like, it's feral either way. Like, I don't know if it's young or if it's feral at this point.
I was honestly said that it was going to be a baby and that he's like helping like guide it. You know what I mean? Like I that temper tantrum was like, there's no reason for that other than this thing has no idea how to fight. Yeah. And it's learning. It's going to be learning all of this shit.
Xavier mentioned it earlier, but it's very monkey. He's very monkey. Like monkeys do that shit where they like, blah, 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 like pound their chest and shit. And that's kind of what that felt like.
I guess, but it was really that he wasn't landing a blow. He was like annoyed. Yeah. And then he starts landing on it, and holy shit, like.
Then he gets mad.
So let's talk about this kaiju before we get there.
Yes,
so
Bazanga.
It's called Bazanga, which is amazing.
But listening to them say that in the dub is fucking beautiful. Like, let's go get the Bazanga. I'm like, Bazangas? Hello?
We got, so like, it's the reason why I really was digging it is because for the first 10 minutes of the show, there's no Ultraman. It's just literally this military unit responding to this threat, this kaiju. And they're doing it based on human capabilities, which is like utilizing these specialty rounds, knowing full well that they have to strategically hit it, they have to lure it to XYZ. You know what I'm saying? All this shit is playing out, and that kind of shit gets me going. I'm like, yes, military tactics, perfectly executed, people going go, that kind of shit. I'm fucking locked in. But then they had that, and then of course when the shit hits the fan, like they realized that they needed another unit to hit it with another specialty unit. And I'm like, you only have 2 units going after this fucking giant kaiju? Like,
there was like 30 dudes that jumped out of that plane. We can't split this up a little more.
so anyway, the whole struggle becomes this specialty round, and then it just kind of evaporates until Lady reappears, and she takes her shot at the
Lady.
It's Lady. Loco. She's Lady, okay? Yeah. And like that was the one element where I'm like, the CCCP, I don't know how many
CCP. Yeah.
CCP. Like, she's part of that. So that's obviously going to be where Gento ends up. But I'm just like, I'm regretting that they're going to go that route and stop the military stuff, because I was digging this.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to kind of go into typical like Ultraman military, which is like the goofy kaiju team, where they're in like bright colors and all that kind of thing, while this was like a military team. You know what I mean? And I feel like Unfortunately, I feel like this is not going to be a good gauge for the temperature of the rest of the show. You know what I mean?
And you're right. Because I
hope I'm wrong. Honestly, I hope I'm very wrong, and I hope it kind of stays pretty intense like this. Like starting off with a night fight was pretty dope. That's pretty cool. I don't expect every fight to be at night kind of thing. I'm not saying that, but like from a cinematographical cinematographical point of view, it was pretty cool. Beauty Eiffel. It was quite beautiful. It was cool. It was great. It's great cinematography. It was interesting to look at. I like Blazer's design a lot, like you said. His light javelin is pretty fucking cool. I can't lie about that. Listen, and I really like that the red and blue streaks came off him when he flew off. I thought that was really cool.
You remember Orb's first episode?
No. No.
So in Orb's first episode, you got
starting to start blocking out Orb at this point.
All right, I'm not as bad. I'm just saying. In that first episode, you got your mysterious hero, but you also got.
I just remember a lot of leather long coats.
It's such a good look, man. It's such a good look. But you get this hero where it's like, okay, he's damaged, but it's like, he's got what it takes to be a hero.
Yeah.
This guy, I'm not getting that. He wakes up after the fact talking about what happened. Like, so you mentioned it during the stream, and I watched it again, and I seeing the bracer. Which it's called what's it called again? The
Blazer Bracer.
Blazer Bracer. Like that's good.
Yeah.
So the Blazer Bracer just like appears on him. You know what I mean?
Yes, because I had looked away for a moment and I was like, wait, what? And I thought it like, so typically the Ultramen, they'll like combine with the humans somehow and like fly into them, whatever. And you see a big flash of light. I thought I missed that. I thought I missed like a flash of light coming down onto his arm or something.
Right. And I was expecting Lipia to be like, hey, buddy, I got your back. But no, none of that. You got a force riser type of situation where he, I don't know, like magnetically puts the thing where it needs to go, and then magnetically again. So it's like the Blazer Stone is the coin thing that he has, and so like electricity starts coming off of this and like pulls the coin into the slot, and then it like other blue electricity pulls his hand onto the other side to press the button and activate it. I was like, that driver just henchened him. That's cool. Yeah. It's cool, but I'm like, this is Ultraman. I thought Ultraman was the buddy thing. I don't know, but
that's why I kind of think it might be more of like a dueling personalities kind of thing. I feel like this Ultraman might almost be trapped inside Gento trying to get out.
It makes a good amount of sense.
But at the same time, like we were saying, there's the hands thing, right? Like he checks his hands, he does that kind of stuff, and then he also sees the team behind him at one point and is literally holding the monster back so that he doesn't fall on them.
Right. So there's an element of awareness there that's like Gento himself.
Yeah. And I think it might be almost dueling personalities because maybe this Ultraman is feral or young or whatever, and they can't communicate. You know what I mean? Like maybe that bond isn't there because they literally can't communicate with each other. Which would be like why they're kind of like in flux of who's in control. And they can't be like, hey, man, those are our friends. Stop them, please.
I like that. I really do.
If that's the case, this could be really fucking interesting, honestly.
Or, never mind. No.
Nope, hit me.
Okay, but like, what's got me is
we have one episode. Just go with the most radical fucking ideas that come to you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if Blazer's like how Orb had an origin form that he lost because of the power? You know what I'm saying? What if Blazer is an after the fact thing where it's like
a pupil infantile, whatever form of whatever?
Yeah, like something that reconstituted after the fact, and it's like this primitive thing. I'm going with
G primitive. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's happened before. Ultraman Nexus was kind of that. He was this almost like a pupil form of Ultraman Noah, I believe he's called, who is this like weird, like godly Ultraman. And he ascends to his final form at the end of the show.
Well, then that's kind of what I'm hoping for then. Yeah. Something like that. Because it is one episode. I'm trying to be fair. but you did not Ultraman for me in this episode.
But also that might be what makes it different. Like we were saying with King Osier, it's Rider but Sentai, so maybe we're gonna Rider but Ultraman, and I'm here for that. So
I hope it Riders.
I think there's just, like I said, I think this is a very different temperature than the rest of the show is going to be. So I need to see more of the show to really make a good judgment.
In terms of different,
mm-hmm.
It's different because of the design, but it does have quite an aesthetic homage to old school transformations, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
It has this, when he did the changer, it did a very vintage lights and color flash effect before you see like 2020
played very similar like noises out of the bracer and stuff.
Yeah, like you get this homage to it, which is very nice, but then it's followed up by this insane level of graphics for that space javelin was sick.
Yeah,
like just sick. And I
like that he pulls it out of an actual like black hole horizon in his hand. I thought that was fucking cool.
He blasts 3 of those in point blank on Bazanga, like, and before he rips off these electrifying gauntlet things that are attached to Bazanga, and then beats him with it, and then throws it at him. Like,
he just full on feral tantrum.
The elements are there. I hope that it's.
I'm just curious. Like, so I've said it before. My biggest issue is that Ultraman has a tendency to like pop off on its forms way early. And I'm curious what because like New Age Ultraman, he's going to have forms of some kind, whether it's he invokes different coins or what, he'll put in Zero and he like becomes some weird gross amalgamation of Zero. Maybe it'll be like Ride Armors kind of thing. I don't know. But because his base form is so simple, I'm really curious what those forms are going to be. Like, is it going to be like a Ride Armor for like Zio's Ride Armor, where it's just like he equips Zero on top of him, something like that. It's going to happen. I just don't know how it's going to happen, because he is very basic and he is very going back to Nexus. He looks a lot like Ultraman the Next,
which is good,
which is great. And let me pull up Ultraman the Next for you guys at home. It looks very similar because he has this kind of gray pupil form.
Laser.
There it is. Put this in the Discord for you guys at home, or if you're in there, boop. There you go. So you can see it too. So this is Ultraman the Next. It has a very similar vibe, honestly.
Like
to Blazer. Like it kind of has that same sort of chitness, like early form. Like this thing, Ultraman the Next, becomes Nexus, and then Nexus becomes Noah.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah. Like it evolves. It's fucking, this is Imperfect Cell. That's what this is. So I feel like this is Blazer, I feel like is Imperfect Cell.
And you get the elements because the colors that are infused with Ultraman ordinarily are only leaching down a single side of it,
Yeah, and almost veiny too. Like it's almost like its skin is away.
It's fucking dope.
And I think its final form is going to be like just a pure Ultraman form. I genuinely think that's what it's going to be.
I'll take it, because the only thing that stops Ultraman from being higher is the fact that they all look alike. But that's me being super me. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying.
But also, they all look a lot alike.
They all look so indistinguishable that unless you actually look at the detail, like a fringe on the helmet, you know what I mean? Like that's the difference.
This eye is at a slightly different angle than this one, and its red is slightly different than the silver on there from this one. And it's like, yeah, but okay, but if you put them in a line, I'm not going to tell you which one is which. I couldn't even tell the original Ultraman from any of them.
But they all have a mighty form. They all have a speed form. They all have a fucking...
Now they do, yeah.
Right. But they all have this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Beam, yeah.
It's all the same, which is fine if it works, and I'm not knocking it. Yeah. I'm just saying that's why it doesn't do it for me in terms of...
But to be fair, we have based our lives around a franchise where everyone does a flying kick. So
I'm saying, like, I'm not excusing my prejudice or my
hypocrisy. Let's be honest here.
It's just literally that I don't have enough in an Ultraman immediately to sink the hooks where I then need a better story, which is why I liked Orb so much, because even though it was every other Ultraman, and literally by fusion, it was just the fact that the story was good enough that I was like, you know what? Okay, I want to know how he got to Origin. I want to know what happened to him.
Yeah, and so, like for me, it's a lot of the stuff kind of comes to the same issues I have with Sentai a lot of the time, where when we're in these big kaiju fights, they're usually not that interesting. And that's kind of where it loses me. And when your whole entire franchise is based around giant things fighting each other, you should probably be pretty good at them. And they've gotten a lot better. Trust me, they've gotten way better ever since Zet. And, you know, before that, Ginga even started getting really, really good ones, in my opinion. I haven't watched too many before that. But like Ginga, X, you know, I watched Zet. I've tried to watch Trigger, but like the fights weren't awful. The show itself was just kind of boring. And then, I don't know, Decker looks weird. I don't know if I'm ever going to watch Decker. It looks very strange. I wasn't a huge fan.
Did you ever figure out if that was other forms or literally just him changing?
No, for Taiga, I do want to watch Taiga. Okay. I have not figured that out yet. I know it's 3 different Ultramen. I just don't know if it's him changing into those 3 different Ultramen or not.
Just fine. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So predictions for where the next episode is going to take us. He's going to try to figure out why he blacks out.
Yeah. And
either they're gonna have the first conversation or they are never gonna speak.
No, like, I don't think they're gonna speak for a while. I think I wouldn't be surprised if the first actual conversation they have leads to his final form.
Stop. Seriously?
Yes. 100%. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah. And if like, I mean, actual conversation. I'm not saying interaction, actual conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying like actually be like, yo, I'm Blazer, yo, I'm Gento, what up, like that kind of thing. I think other than that, I really think it's gonna be a dueling personalities type thing.
That would be cool as shit though,
because like again, I also maybe reading into this a little too much, like we have this kind of like intertwining veiny thing, and if their personalities are like intertwined and mixed together, that could represent Blazer and Gento.
Yeah, I didn't actually mention that thoroughly enough, but you're right. Gento does do this like meditation thing where he can see the future.
Yes. So I don't know if it's necessarily seeing the future, but he can like, he super plans and can like run scenarios like Doctor Strange style. And then you see that vein pattern around his like memory thing, the way they show it. So that's not coincidence. Like you don't do that kind of shit just because it looks fun. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
So I think that's going to be Blazer leaking into Gento a little bit, and Gento is going to be in Blazer when he's doing the like, whoa, what the fuck?
No, that makes, because he would snap back and be like, what's going on? And that could be the same thing that Blazer's going through when he's not in charge. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of cool.
Yep. So I think that's kind of what's going to happen. And if that's the case, this could be very, very interesting. And I'm curious to see where it goes. We still have our Mechagodzilla doofy looking thing to show up. I think it's showing up next episode.
Oh yeah, his partner. That's right.
Earth Garen, whatever it's called. It apparently has like 3 different modes. Yeah. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I think next episode will be much more of the vibe going forward because they're in their like Ultraman team and everything, you know? Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm not writing the show off. I'm just saying I don't know because I don't have enough information. That's really what it is. Like, there's a lot of things I like. There's some things where I'm like, what the fuck is this? And there's like a lot of possibilities that if they play out could be really goddamn cool.
It's fair because I really feel like I'm hoping I'm wrong. I hope they focus on the military shit. Mm-hmm. I just hope it's a completely different thing than what I'm afraid it's going to be.
Yeah.
So,
but
if I'm wrong, I'm happy. And that's where I'm going.
If nothing else, this Ultraman looks fucking cool. So...
yeah, it's a dope design.
Yeah,
dope design.
I like that the like flare on his eye lights up. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and it has that effect when he flies. It's just that they're touching it where it needs to be touched.
I'm still confused. The last thing I'll mention is I'm still confused on whether Gento's body is there when he changes it or not.
So that's what I'm saying because he wakes up after it flies away.
Which they normally do, and then they'll kind of like run off from somewhere. So it's like implied they like fly off, change back, and then come back. You know what I mean?
He didn't move. He was on the same roof.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm confused because like he was in the exact same spot, passed out.
And did you see the damage that they left behind?
And like there was people walking up that would have been like, "Hey man, why did you just appear in a flash of light?" What just like there was people walking up that easily would have seen him if he was like flashing or something. So that's where I need answers. I need more answers.
I'm going with we'll see. 5 episodes in, usually where we kind of taper off. But the next
we don't give Ultraman a lot of credit.
I'm just saying, because it's just once it becomes the same formula.
I think if he has at least 3 forms by episode 7, you can pretty much guarantee I'm not going to watch it.
Do you remember the previews for the next episode? Because I'm looking right at them right now. There's another kaiju at a port.
Yes.
He appears, and it looks like there's a team.
Yes, and that's the new team. Here. That's the one I was talking about, the very Ultraman team.
It's what's going to happen.
Yep.
They're going where I thought they were going to go.
Ultraman. That's why I'm saying I think the next episode will be very much more the energy of the rest of the season. So we shall see. We'll see if Wilco lady will carry her weight. I think she's the pilot of that Earth Garen thing.
Lady, yeah, she's definitely a bigger role.
Yeah, so we'll see. But
it's not Regulos. It's not Regulos,
but that doesn't mean it can't get there. So I'm hopeful. I'm genuinely trying to keep my mind open to more Ultraman. I hope you guys appreciate me trying to not write this franchise off, because there's a lot of really cool stuff in Ultraman. There really is. It's just most of it is, unfortunately, they're Tysons, in my opinion.
Not the best Ultraman or Super Sentai guys, but we want to be. It's just a matter of getting there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. We're trying. We're trying.
I need the Japanese because I can't do Bosch.
You have a weird disdain for that dude.
I have a disdain for oversaturated voice actors, and it's just Bosch. It's just Bosch. I don't hate
like
the man.
Not even putting a voice on, just talking. It's just Bosch.
It's just Bosch.
It's just Adam Park. It might as well, the credit might as well be Adam Park.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he can't do voices. He can do his voice and he can voice act, but he can't do voices. Yeah. So it's
he can. It's just slightly higher because he's a kid now.
Right.
And then you said he can voice act. I want to stress that enough. Like, I'm not saying he's not a good voice actor. He's fine. I enjoy him in some characters. Like Vash, I enjoy a lot. Like Vash, I think is fucking phenomenal. Vash Stampede from Vash Stampede.
Yeah.
Vash, I enjoy a fucking lot. Ichigo is fine. That's more so just Bleach. But, Ichigo is fine. It's just like you're saying, there's not a lot of variety to his roles. So, like, you hear it and you're immediately like, that's fucking Jen Young Bosch. And you can't unhear it at that point. So.
No. And it immediately upsets me. But that's just me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it kind of breaks the immersion for me, where I'm like, oh, that's just Bosch.
and you have to also remember, and I want to also give myself the out by saying I'm a harsh film critic too. So if your cinematography is bad, plus you have bad acting, I'm not having a good time.
Yeah, unless you Devil May Cry, and then I'll just listen to Bosch all day because Nero is one of my favorite fucking characters ever. So.
But you get crazy cinematography, so yeah, I'll forgive you.
Yeah, and it's just a great fucking game too. And like Nero's just cool.
I know the director. Please say the name.
Itsuno?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Him.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah. Absolute genius. Listen, he scraped Devil May Cry 2 together in 6 months, and it was playable. So that's all that matters. It's not great. It's playable.
What is this shit? Okay.
He was like, damn, we got 6 months to make sure the guns work. And that was pretty much it.
If that, and the hitboxes are so good.
It's just the guns. That's all you have to do, kids. Just mash guns.
Yeah. We'll talk about Devil May Cry 2 another day. But
one day.
I think we're caught up. That's
pretty much everything. That's the big 3. That's the big 3 tokusatsu franchises. There's more, but Godzilla's only in the movies really for right now. And
we'll get there, guys.
Yeah.
So all in all, hopefully Blazar steps up. Geats will end with a bang. And the second half of King Oja will be just as fucking banger.
I just hope they all don't shit the bed. That's my hope here, because we're riding high. I don't want to crash and burn at this point. So
let's not.
Yeah.
In the meantime, if you guys want to expose yourself to more Toku related things, anybody who's joined me on here knows that I have a bunch of stuff on my TikTok. Please check out the TikTok Tokudon_6 Echoes. I do a bunch of things called the Toku Minutes, where I talk about any random Toku thing that's coming up. I have a poll right now of it's blowing my mind. I have a poll for the next Toku Minute between Deno and Gio, and I initially thought it was going to be completely one-sided,
Uh-huh.
but it has gone the opposite way.
Oh, that's sad.
I'm just like, I'm excited because it's something that I didn't expect. I'm curious how I'm gonna go about it, but I'm excited.
Can I do that one?
You want to? Okay, yeah.
I want to do Zio.
All right, so Zio's winning so far, so let's keep it at that.
I want to do Zio.
The end of the poll is Friday.
Okay.
And I'll tally up all the votes then and let you guys know. So yeah, it's looking like Zio so far. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I usually end up watching like the first 5 episodes to get that flavor back, and then yeah. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Other than that, I have a
can't wait to see the creeping robot sneaking around, not making any noise whatsoever, because time.
The time machine things. Holy
time machine.
I also have 6 picks that I'm working on. I have a new one. It's actually no spoilers. You guys will see when I release it. Other than that, I have started the Y Evolt. I'll send that to you whenever you tell me I can.
Okay.
The reality is we have a lot of shit we're working on and a lot of shit to get done.
Yeah.
But we're excited because it's so this fun for us. Anyway, I'm done. Check out my other stuff. I have a creepypasta channel on YouTube. I'll update there as soon as I can. 6 Echoes. Just check that out. I have things that'll put you to sleep before this creepy shit kicks in. Other than that, catch me Sundays doing this nonsense with this maniac.
Yeah. If you guys want to find more of what I do, it's twitch.tv/KaijuCarl. We hang out there every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and not really Sunday. Sunday where we're here. This week, we are going to be playing a lot of fighting games. We're playing Street Fighter tomorrow, and Wednesday, the new character for DNF Duel finally drops after a year and some change. We finally have a character. And
is it Mommy?
Yeah, it's Mommy Swords, Spectre. She's here on Tuesday. Yep. So Wednesday, we're going to check out DNF Duel. And then we'll figure out the rest of the week. I don't know. Last week, we ended up watching... What did we watch? Oh, we watched Blazer. Duh. We watched Blazer. We ended up just talking about Ultraman the whole time. So Friday is just I'm really good at this, guys. In terms of what's on the YouTube channel where you guys are probably watching live right now, I'm working on patch 1.01 for Kamen Rider The Fighting, and adding some new mechanics and characters and things like that to that. So I will start that video this week and hopefully be out by like the end of next week at the latest. So keep an eye out for that. If not, we'll be here every Sunday hanging out live. You guys can always come talk to us. Tim is saying Blazer is more like a Maori warrior. Interesting. I can kind of see a little Haka-y. Okay. I can kind of see that.
Slap a haka onto that. I'm
Listen,
down.
he does a full haka dance. I'm in. I'll watch the rest of that goddamn season. So, but yeah, I'm at Kaiju Carl on all the social media things. You guys can follow me there for all kinds of random nonsense and boxing things if you really want that. And yeah, deuces, yo.
Later, guys, and thanks.